Hello, YouTube. On a Sunday evening, 9:34. Yeah, gotta stay away from that 33 on a Sunday evening. Hope everybody's doing good. Hello, YouTube. And there we go with my echo once again. I forgot to shut down the channel, the live feed, which yes, I have done that probably on live chat that I've actually done, so I do apologize. It'll be a feedback for a second. All of a sudden it'll be like, wow, what happened? No, nothing magical happened. I heard very well, and I had the watch page open and not muted, obviously, which you just heard. So let's start again. It's Sunday Funday. Start an open live chat. I threw a couple special invites out there. Wanted to see if they wanted to join, and possibly will be watching during the broadcast. Haven't gotten a response or anything like that. May not, maybe down the road or something like that. Anyway, Sunday Funday. The week, end of the week. I don't know. 12:01 a.m. on Sunday is the next week or the previous week, or it starts again and goes forward. Maybe it goes backwards. North is south, south is north. So many different things happen that we've learned. Be all upside down. It could be anywhere. The place. Been quite a week. Quite a bit of different things as we were doing a live chat as well last night. Thanks for everybody for joining, and obviously the panel for jumping in. April, she hung in there until she couldn't hang in there anymore and had to go to sleep. Tonight's a little different. Just gonna kind of run with it, kind of go with some different things, maybe some things some folks have seen today, which would be nice. To have the YouTube side chat on. I try not to comment out there. I just let the comments kind of take their flow of things, which is good. And thing going. Let's really get this thing going. Several things around and happened in the past since I joined, which are little surprising. A couple things you wouldn't expect. Then again, life always hands you or throws you a curveball. And by the way, I'm not a baseball fan. Or no problem whatsoever. I am not a baseball fan. I do like the racing and stuff like that. That I've been part and parcel to over the years. You know, it's more of the racing type of situation. On an amateur level, once you turn pro, change. On the amateur level, pardon me, excuse me. On the amateur level, genuine. Great term to use, genuine. On a genuine level, where you get into it, not for the fame, not for the money, it's for the enjoyment, for the fun, and the God-given talent. Why I love the sports on the very, very, very amateur level. That's why I love it. Once you get into higher ranks, different people, we all know. Everybody knows, and people that will come back and watch this will definitely know exactly what I'm talking about without it being said. Nobody needs any kind of handlers and crap like that. Come on, everybody's adults. Everybody knows. It's your gut instinct of horror. Something really doesn't feel right, then don't do it. That's why it's so awesome to just be yourself. The best thing is to be yourself. There's no reason to do or say what anybody else wants or needs you to do. Make any sense to me? So I fired this one up. The right hip, possibly the left hip. I'm left-handed. I'm also ambidextrous, so I'm right and left. I can. I don't write very well with the right hand, but I can assure you, I'm so for me it did both sides. Would never want to play both sides. Who I am and make my stand and make my ground. And I just have a little bit of a rant here until April chimes back in, and we'll get some Hangout links out there. My computer's a little slow at doing that, so I've closed some of the down for links, and April's actually going to get some of those out here shortly if she's back. Are you there? Okay, she's apparently not there yet. Or she could be doing something else, possibly muted, I'm not sure. Pretty interesting day today. Didn't have a chance to join in too much. Different things going on. I saw saw Mr. Poncho Pete actually did a hangout. It was a really good hangout. It was before noon, 1:30 time. When I saw it, I watched for quite some time and then had a couple of commitments to go to, but or however, Poncho was doing really good. It was really good conversation, and everybody was really nice. Nobody deleted that I saw in the couple of hours that I was able to see. Really good. I think he's probably still going now too, which is good for him. Good for him. I saw Glowbusters. And saw that live feed also. A lot of good stuff there. Saw some of the things with. It is kind of funny. It was. We did a hangout with a few of our friends that we chat with all the time, do live hangouts with all the time, and the things that were already being looked at by us and different things.
Hun?
Yeah, what?
You might want to mute the watch page.
I did.
You didn't mute.
Huh?
Never mind. Well, I picked up my headphones and there was like an echo, so sorry.
Oh yeah, I muted the watch page a while ago.
Okay, my bad.
No, it's it's like the alien antenna has got your head wrapped around it now. You got that echo in the headset.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They got those antenna things going back and forth on you.
Yeah.
So if you want to send, I don't know if obviously you just got back, so you didn't hear. If you want to obviously send out the links and stuff.
All right, no problem.
You know something too? I just saw a very.
Sorry.
What's you? You're right.
Thank you.
Usually it comes in 2s or 3s, so folks, get ready and just brace yourself. There could be another sneeze coming up here quickly. Yeah, exactly. That'd be kind of funny. I see a familiar avatar out there too. I'm sure you can see it.
I'm bouncing back and forth. Oh yes, I see.
Yeah, so let's get it started. Let's Sunday fun day. Let's have some fun. Not keep it too tight to the belt. Obviously, get some information out, and let's have some fun. It ought to be a good time. See, Hun, if we were debating back and forth, that's where you would jump in and like have something to add.
Yeah, well, we're not debating back and forth. I'm trying to send out the links for you. Okay.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. We'll get some folks in here. Get some people going. Yeah, I like the cross feed with the chat. And I know obviously it's the takes a bit, but the instant chat is right there, and it just hopefully things will get a little bit better as time goes on. With they're going to change in about a next month sometime, which would be cool. Change it. I hope it's for the better, so everybody can just have it automatic feed. I'm not sure why they do that. Maybe it's so you can edit or something, or not really sure. Maybe somebody's not, so somebody comes in, all of a sudden you want to get rid of. Maybe it's a way to do that, or however, at the same time, they would have a chance to say something before you'd even click the button anyway, whether it's live or not. Everybody's pretty quick to react. I really haven't seen any kind of, unnecessary stuff whatsoever. And I see Gabby has joined the chat. Gabby, how are you?
Drama Llama.
Why are you inviting the Drama Llama? Hmm. Hold on.
Cookies?
There. Why did you invite the Drama Llama? Is there drama that I have to be here for?
No, that's good.
Drama Llama. Okay, well,
that's all good.
I'll wait for the drama.
Okay. No, it's not, I doubt there'll be any. I would hope there will be some. I would almost bet that part is behind. And
I agree.
I'm sorry, what?
You missed it. Never mind.
Oh, that was pretty good.
Which other schleps did you hire for this hangout of yours?
Since
you're like you probably hired everybody. It's it's a whole operation, right? So.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, we're gonna call it Operation Pillbox.
Oh, sounds sneaky.
Yes. Well, yeah. I had to get this damn truck out of my backyard. I got to fix the Stargate and beam that thing back to him or something.
Plant flowers in it.
I got to mow around it. I have to move it and then mow around it first and make it look a little nicer. I mean, after all, it is a Dodge out in the backyard.
Yeah, I wouldn't have that.
Yeah, no, I know. That's why I tried to get rid of it. I got to fix the Stargate. So, events of the day. Just watching, obviously the other channels and stuff like that. It was pretty interesting to me that several things get repeated. We hang out, and there's a group of us that hang out, and it's a good thing. And you go to the other different things that people watch, and everybody watches all around, and you kind of go in there and you're like, hey, that's what. We were just talking about that or something. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, it gets around eventually. All the info finds its way.
Yeah, I saw it. I actually caught it on 1, 2, 3 occasions today with the with the side chat, with the YouTube chat. Now, obviously not with the live. That was different. But I did catch it a couple times on the side chat, and I was like, "Hey."
I'll put the old news on here. Let's see what's blowing up in the world today.
Okay.
Alrighty. See what you Americans are doing. You're the problem, that's everything. Every problem is American.
Yeah.
It's all your fault.
Sorry. I never got the memo.
You weren't included. You thought your votes counted or something? What?
Oh, hell no. I found that a long time ago. My my mother, who passed away a couple of years ago, she passed away at 65. She voted when I believe she turned 18, and the second election, that was it. After that, she's like, nope, it's rigged. Never voted again in her entire life.
Yep. Is there a topic on your hangout today?
Oh, no, it was just Sunday Funday. Just
Funday. No
Sun.
fun. No
Yes.
fun is allowed. Nope. Sorry. Fun is banned.
Oh,
Aww.
well, we gotta have some.
You didn't get that memo, did you? I'll send it to you.
Okay.
I can tell you that after dropping my daughter off, April and I did frequent an establishment. We usually do. There was literally someone running around the bar trying to get an egg to hatch on Pokemon Go. I couldn't believe what I was watching.
Did you stick your foot out and trip him?
April wouldn't let me do it. We happened to know this person, and my eyes.
All the more reason.
Oh, wow.
Just when they're about to pass by, you stand up quickly and knock your chair over backwards in front of them, right?
Yeah. I'm just watching this happen, and everybody's like oblivious to it. I'm like,
yeah, when they're bleeding and their face is smashed into the glass screen of their phone, and you're like, oh man, I'm sorry.
yeah.
Did your Pokemon Go game end? Oops, sorry. Did I say gay? Oh.
It was like boba ass or something, whatever the hell it's called.
Bulbasaur or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever, dude.
It's actually creepy. It's actually creepy when you know that name.
Listen, I grew up playing Pokemon on a Game Boy, not my cell phone.
Okay. Well, now that we've established that, let's move on.
Silly games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now people are running around chasing them like with their cell phone. I'm like, and the traffic, the highway that runs close to the establishment is like right there. When I say right there, I mean like 5 feet off the building. Like if you take a left instead of a right, you may have a problem.
Hey, well, look at the video of the one guy. I guess if you go too quickly, like you can't necessarily jump in your car and race around and play that game. You actually have to go walking speed. So there's people that are now driving because they're too fat and lazy or whatever to get on the sidewalk and walk. They actually take their car and they drive real slow and do the game that way. So some guy on YouTube, if you look, there's a video of a guy, man, who runs into the back of a parked police car, man, with his car. It's hilarious.
Oh boy!
You just see him cruising down the street, and he literally he hits about 2 feet deep in his car and 2 feet deep into the cop car, and he pushes it ahead a full parking space, careens off it essentially, then pulls over further up ahead and probably got 1,500 tickets. Hopefully he did anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, going all over the place. It's like the video of the the cop that has a kid in the back or whatever, and all of a sudden the cop wrecks the car and the kid goes flying out the back window. It's like, oh, escapee.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, holy crap, what the hell was that I just watched?
What other ass monkeys did you hire for this party? Where are they? What's going on?
I have no idea.
Who did you call?
Actually, nobody. I sent one link out over on Facebook to somebody that I've had for quite a while. Wanted to bring him on when he has a chance to, obviously. And I didn't hear anything. That's why I waited to start to give him a chance. If you wanted to join in first, I wouldn't want to slam anybody or have him come into a panel and be like, hey, what's this? Haven't heard back or anything as of yet. There might be something on there. Obviously, he could be watching, whatever. That's fine too. Not a problem whatsoever. See how things go. Other than that, April was the one in charge of inviting, so I'm not exactly sure who's coming.
It's a girls' party. Where's all the
No,
girls?
no, it's not. Wait a minute. What's out there?
April, why don't you invite more girls?
Because I don't know very many girls.
Women?
No, they're all drama.
Drama llamas.
Drama ones.
They're too busy brushing their coat,
Mm-hmm. Or fixing their makeup.
putting makeup on their llama lips.
Oh, more girls, more girls, more links or more likes. Actually, Steven's out there. Steven's blowing up the chat out there. He is Steve wants in.
Steve Bradley, is he? He's owning that, is he? He's usually in charge of running the free chan lately. He's been doing pretty good over there.
Yeah, I watched. I watched. You can tell by the avatar right away. Hey, Stefan.
I was wondering how long it would take you.
I have an echo on my own here, I think.
I told you have an echo.
No.
This darn thing. Oh, here we go.
Oh, the crickets. Yes, they're finally here.
Larry and his crickets.
C is for crickets.
No, C is for cookie. You got to get that straight.
No. It's for crickets, hon.
Oh, great.
Or if, you're into the modern Sesame Street, now it's like celery or vegetables or something. I don't know. It's no longer cookies because it promotes obesity, apparently.
Huh? What fool said that?
I don't know. It's something I heard.
I can see my stomach. Muscles, that is.
Let me see. I need access to the watch page.
Okay.
Mr. Bibbo found his way here.
Yes, that's good. Gotcha. So I figured I'd just start one up, and saw a lot of stuff today. Pretty interesting.
Like stuff where on the internet or TV or what were you doing?
Start one up and saw a lot of
Driving
stuff.
down the road.
Whoops. That can't be me. With the internet or TV.
Someone has a watch feed open.
Oh, shame.
Sorry.
Oh, look at that. See? And you thought it was me. And you guys thought it was me.
We need a jar. We need a
Sorry.
$5 jar or something. $5 for every time you.
Like the swear jar type of thing.
Yeah, and then we'll figure out a way to somebody can win it.
Yeah. Oh, that. You know what? That would be pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Boy, should I go? Should I go here? You know what? I don't want to.
Or should I go now?
Yeah. You know. All right. I do have to say something, and I'm just going to get it out. And the reason I'm going to get it out is I saw a step taken today where the very popular channel was on and just got rid of folks they didn't want to talk to because of things that were said, and I thought that was pretty cool. I thought that was really cool. It doesn't matter who the channel was or what the channel was or what the content was. The fact that somebody just stood out there and said, you know what, based on the drama shit, enough of that garbage going on already. No, see you later, bye. And it reminded me of something from but not that many years ago, but quite some time ago. And the reason I say it that way, just say no. Everybody knows if you don't want to associate with the person because of the content or something, just no, I'm sorry, I need to go or need to do something else, and you just don't associate with that individual anymore. And I thought that was really cool. It doesn't matter who or whom, just the fact that they don't want to associate with that person. You can't say one thing and do another. You can't say, okay, well, it's okay to do this, and then turn around and say, well, you can do this, nobody else can. And flip-flop back and forth. It is just so frustrating. So frustrating. Yeah, for somebody to try to keep the peace in that is really strange. And the reason I'll say it's strange in that type of way, oh, isn't that interesting? That is funny.
What?
I just got a text. Somebody else may have, this to your, to my email or something like that. Fucking go for it. There's nothing there.
Okay.
Yeah, there's really nothing there. Oh, somebody might have. By the way, for anyone hoping to, and I'm going to use some older terms here, so for anybody wanting to drill me, I'm in the same fucking spot. I've been here the whole time. Anybody wants to come and say hello, might shake your hand, might not. I've been in the same spot for an awful long time. Don't send threats, whether it be to hack something or whack something or whatever the hell it is. I'm born and raised in New Jersey, so for that part of it, you got to be careful. You never underestimate the opponent. I mean, that's the first thing that everybody should know. Whether it's somebody sending any type of message or something like that. See, I have a flip phone, so whatever condescending message may or may not have been sent, I can't even read it, and I can care less. I'll delete it. Doesn't matter to me. What are you gonna track it from GPS or something like that? I'll leave it in a place where you'll find the phone. I might not be next to it though. So, moving on. It's supposed to be Sunday Funday. We're not talking about serious stuff or any of that kind of thing. We're supposed to be enjoying each other's company, and that's what it's really all about, with everybody out in view, and have some decent content to stuff, maybe talk about some different things. Hopefully, without naming names or anything else, everybody can see through. And I cannot use the actual word of, it starts with a P, and it's not a male genitalia. And it ends with a P, and that is also not part of that genitalia. Let's just say that nobody needs to be doing a lot of shots or anything every time that word is mentioned. And the thing is so effing ridiculous, it's to the point, give it up already. Like, it's almost like the penis police. Like, seriously? Like, oh yeah, oh hey, it's over here, it's over here, it's over there, it's over here, it's over there, it's over there, it's up, it's down, it's left, it's right, it's up and down. Come on, has everybody forgotten what brought everyone together with different backgrounds, which everyone does have a different thing to offer, and they're all good. They're all good. Some of the people that still believe in the globe, that's fine. That's fine. That is totally fine. Whatever you believe is your belief, and hold it true, and go ahead and go with what you want. But at the point where you start poking fingers and pushing fingers and calling people different things or whatever you want to coin the term, why? That's what makes no sense to me. If you want to do that to a person face to face, that is something totally different than hiding behind a screen and having threats sent that way or anything like that. That's that's the main downfall. When you talk to someone, if you want to really bring someone out or talk to them on a phone call, or send them an email, hey, give me a call, let's talk about it. Hey, give me a shout or something like that. Give me this, or give me a few minutes of your time, that sort of thing. That's what really counts. Not this, pardon me for a second, not this pussy fucking shit of, oh, I'm going to dox you, I'm going to do this, or send you an email that's going to whack your computer or something like that. Listen, my computer can be down in like less than 5 seconds, and I'll break this thing in 14 fucking pieces, and you won't have nothing. Doesn't matter. The internet to me is somewhere where I've met a lot of good people with a lot of good ideas, better than mine, and I am here to learn from them, and hopefully I can add to the conversation. And that's what it should be all about. Not like, oh, hey, I know where you are. Come on, you know where I am. Come on, I'll tell you what. Knock on my door one time. Knock on the door. Just knock on the door. I may not let you in. I possibly might let you in. I'm not going to judge very quickly. I will get to know you first, and we'll see where it goes. All the things about the calling back and forth is just, absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. I don't want to say we're all going to sit around and sing Kumbaya or anything like that. You get 10 people around the table, I would almost guarantee you that you're going to have 1, maybe 2 that are agreeing with what you're saying. The rest of them may agree just to, kind of get along and, walk away from the table later on scratching their head like, okay, let me look into this. Those are the people that are good people, because they will go out and look for themselves and make their own assessment of what's going on. It's up to everyone individually. It's not to be led or to be pushed or anything like that. And it was supposed to be Sunday Funday. I got into Larry Rant Day. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
Well, that went around quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, obviously, April and I have talked about this quite a bit between the two of us, and some of the things going on are just, these people call themselves grown adults. Come on, seriously. Grown adults don't talk to each other like that. If they do, we know what happens next. If they can't settle their differences via, being verbal about them. It is definitely free speech. Anybody can say whatever they want to, publish whatever they want to. Go for it. I am a fan of getting it all out there. The one thing I dislike is any type of situation where somebody holds back and then all of a sudden starts to attack from behind, or hackers, or whatever the hell you want to call it. That's the retarded part. That's the ultimate retarded part. It's like, okay, somebody hiding behind something who is probably like the Wizard of Oz guy, and at the end of the movie he comes out and he's like, oh my God, you found me, you found me. Well, everybody can be found. That's my point. Everyone. So get out from behind the computer, and if you want to come on chat and have a debate or something like that, that's great. That's absolutely great. You take a stance of posturing, or as a pretty cool movie coined it, you want to beat the peacock. Well, got to be careful how big that peacock is, especially if you don't have the biggest feather in the room and you don't know it when you're walking in. Got to be careful about that. Got to absolutely be careful about that. There is just so many things that are very disheartening. It takes away from the information that is provided by the person by doing that, and that's a shame of it. That's the absolute shame of it, because the information, while it may be good, getting into a situation like that, it negates everything you said before, and that's the the bad thing. That's the crime, if you will, of it. Somebody might have a lot of good stuff to say, a lot of good things out there and everything else, and then you get to a certain point, and all of a sudden, bang, and everybody blows up. It's like, whoa, wait a second. And maybe someone had an off night. I have had off nights. I am guilty of it myself. Folks around me that are close, I thank you also for being close to me and understanding, and viewers and people that do the live chats and that sort of thing. Yeah, we all have off days. Everybody does. I hate saying it's being an individual. It's being the person you are. Once in a while, it gets to you. You blow up. You just have that time where you just go a little bit crazy for a while or something. Yeah, I get that. I totally get that. I am guilty of that as well. To do that and do it on a regular basis, and then it becomes about the rants and different things. That's where it goes bad. That's why myself and everyone is in this, because of the rants, and I was put in my place about my ego as well several times, not only on live chats, also in private chats and different things, and in my lifetime. Put in my place with ego and stuff, and boy, it can be so detrimental to the information you're trying to get out there, and it negates what the message is that you're trying to send, and that unfortunately happens to a lot of us. Definitely a lot of us. It's a shame. It's actually a shame. The information's good, yeah, and the information should get out, and everybody should be a part of it, and parcel to it, and take their what they know, and perhaps add to it. And it's like, hey, by the way, boy, to use this term, okay, you're building a car. Well, this person has rims, that person has tires, this guy's got rotors, calipers over here, the engine department is working on something, you got the body working guy over here who's going to put the body on the frame, and the rolling chassis is already built, and you got to drop it. So many people are needed to put everything together, because if anyone thinks for 1 second, and I would even throw this in chat, I mean, I'm not sure how many folks are out there. I appreciate you all coming too. Thank you very much. Who do you think is going to help? Do you think all the engineers are going to jump in and help? All the NASA people are going to jump in and help, or all the physicists are going to jump in and help all of a sudden, or astrophysics, and anytime you mention the word astrophysics, I think of Astroglide, so I do have a giggle problem, which when it starts, it will definitely continue with the astrophysics thing. Yeah, if anyone thinks they're all going to all of a sudden stop what they're doing and say, wow, now they might do that in their private time, they might do that on the side, they may already have said some things which didn't go over too well and may have been denominated in their job, or put aside to say, you just go back to your cube over there and you be quiet. Here's what you need to know, and that's all you need to know. I do believe there are so many out there that are really researching and looking into, including military, and I don't mean just our military. I mean from around the flat plane. I mean, really looking into and saying, hey, wait a second here, you want me to do what for what? It's a gut feeling, it's a conscience that a lot of individuals have. We're born with it. We just have it. Everybody has it. And the great thing about it is we all know whether we act a certain way or act on it. And as Wade pointed out earlier, and I don't know if Wade's still out there. I know Wade's might be coming in a little while too. Wade said same thing. Do you own it, or does it own you? And that was a great question. I own, what I do. It's me. Why should I let it own? Have ownership on me? No, I own it, because I have made that decision. So I already own it, and I'm moving forward with it. And unfortunately, good, better, and different, it's up to me. It's up to me to carry forward. And I am all alone. I don't want to leave dead air time. Everybody's out. Let me see what I got here. Psychedelic Christians out there. Hey, how you doing? I see Bubbles out there and Ishra's out there. Let's see. Actually, Stephen was out there before. I'm not sure if he's still there. Yep. That's about as far as I can see. The chat's rolling a little bit slow. A little bit slow tonight, which is okay. It's Sunday fun day. It'll be a good time, and I'm sure several will join. It's only, well, it depends on it depends on what time is. Depends exactly what time, on exactly what time is as to what time we're on or what time it actually is, or how old. I made a statement earlier today when somebody asked, "Hey, how old is everyone?" How do you answer that question? Okay, in years as we are told, or as in how we learned, or what do we know? Who knows? Who really knows? We don't. I certainly don't. I could tell you, based on, and this is obviously a chat for another conversation, based on the birth certificate, the live birth itself. That based on that when I was born as a live birth, and then handed a certificate saying, "Oh, by the way, yeah, I'll take that, and you're here." That's a whole nother discussion. Who knows in years though, with what year we're in, or when, where, and why, and all this other kind of stuff that we've been taught for so long. I would say blindfolded to for so long. It is nice to have the glasses on, as so many do. So many do. Oh, Pillbox is out there too. Hey, Pillbox, I saw you earlier today. And Crow's out there too. Crow's out there. Yeah. Couple shout outs to the guys out there. Just doing a Sunday fun day hangout. Crow, you're not 42, man. Come on, stop that. Get clogged. Oh, come on. If you guys, you know what? You guys probably already have a link, actually. I think. Well, I think so. I think April sent them out to you. I'm pretty sure she did. You guys want to join in? You got a link out there. Every Fitzgerald told. That's good, Jonathan. Everybody out there in chat's kind of funny. Now they're all arguing the age. Oh, yeah. It depends on where you start from. Depends on where you start from, and should I go here? Yes, I'm going to go here. Why not? Jesus, born on Christmas Day, December 25th. Well, that's when the year should start then, shouldn't it? BC, before Christ, Anno Domini, after Christ. Why they changed it and didn't say AC? BC, AC? Not sure why. Not sure exactly why. Would have been easier, instead of Anno Domini, and then all of a sudden we're back into Latin, and look at this. Perhaps that was the first live birth certificate taken. First one that was taken for a purpose, and gave him a piece of paper saying, "Yep, you're here. Here you go. Keep it with you. Don't lose it." So. Oh boy. Well, I've been ranting for a while, so somebody come on in. Let's have a have a combo. Some other point of views, of course. A couple seconds of dead air. Sorry about that. It could be, could be. Brings me back to my original rant in the beginning. Yeah, there are so many things that are just put out there to keep everybody in check. Like, oh no, don't worry. Oh, you got bills due. Yeah, go ahead and do that. You got to take care of this and that and the other thing, and go ahead and play along this way and play along that way. And by the way, you need to come in and sign for this, or have your signature recorded in a certain way, or perhaps your retina read in your eye, or your thumbprint or fingerprints done for certain things. Yeah. I think the best thing is for everybody to kind of step back, and it's very difficult to do, to really step back and take some time. Obviously, it's Sunday evening, so not tonight. Everybody's got to get up for work tomorrow and do their different things and whatever. That's fine. Take a little time and step back and just look at the amount of things you have just agreed to and just done because you follow, I don't know, the Joneses, or follow the path of whatever or something. Yeah, okay, BK. All right, I won't ruin it with Bill Talk. I know there's a delay. I won't do it with the Bill Talk. I'll go back to something else. However, it's a good thing to walk away, throw your hands up, and say, all right, gotcha. Here we go. Here we go, and it's Sunday Funday with just me. And that's it. I mean, I could play pool in the background or something. You could watch me. Oh boy, here we go. Welcome, Pillbox.
I have arrived. Bro.
I see. Whoop! It sounded a little garbled there. Gotta do it again.
As soon as the echo goes away.
Okay, is that on my end or your end?
Not mine.
Oh crap! Sorry. That help?
I doubt it.
No, it didn't. What the hell?
Yeah, not everybody can be a shogun like me and just hit mute when I'm done. But now it stopped for some reason. Huh. Weird.
How's that, better?
Yeah, I don't hear it anymore. Yeah, what's going on with you tonight, Larry?
Oh, not too much. I'm trying to figure out the echo. Out of my rants, everybody comes in and they're like, okay, everybody has an echo because of me. I didn't do anything.
Testing.
No idea.
Nope. Testing. Nope, it's good now. So what's the hangout called tonight, Larry?
Flat Earth Sunday Funday.
Good. Yeah. I noticed that Steve-O McRae Monkey Boy was hosting a hangout. He's one of these heathenistic Bible hater scoffers, and of course now he was resorted to putting Flat Earth and his hangouts now so that he can get viewers, and it's obviously working. I think he had 60 viewers, and they're just of course calling us batshit crazy. It's pretty funny that these people, of course, use the term Flat Earth and call us trolls when we go there and make comments. It says Flat Earth in the title, so yeah, there's about 3 or 4 of them going on right now. Probably 150 viewers altogether.
Who's Steve-O?
Steve McRae, I believe his name is. Yeah, he's a heathenistic chimp on a ball.
Oh, okay. I don't know that name, so I
yeah, Agave knows. Agave's my witness. He saw what was going on earlier. He actually knew before I did. I didn't know they were using. It just seems like all these criminals are now using. It's so funny. All these criminals, which is what they are using the term Flat Earth. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, very.
I wonder why. Why aren't they saying the cell Earth or concave Earth or Islam or Buddhism? No, it's Flat Earth. No, as usual. Flat Earth and Christians. That's who they're always attacking. If that's not the most obvious telltale sign of what's going on, I don't know what is. That's all these people attack. It's flat Earth and Christianity. That's what they attack.
Yeah, I don't understand it, and even for myself, yeah. Do I believe in the Bible in its entirety? No, I have many problems with it. Does it mean I'm an atheist? Absolutely not. I just have issues with the good book, the Bible, because background a Christian. Got some problems with it. If I was going to go and do something where I had a hangout with, let's say, anti-Bible or something like that, why would you put flat Earth in the frickin' title? And it doesn't mean that all the flat Earthers are all Christian and all have their Bible and hold it up and start waving. Yeah, to assume that is very dangerous for many people. It doesn't matter what religion. There are so many different backgrounds of everyone in religions that understand. Hey, wait a second here, and they're looking into it. Why would it be tagged that way or branded
because
that way?
Because there's only one way to do something if you're evil or demonically possessed, and that is to attack the truth. And that's why they attack flat Earth and Christians. There's no other reason, and it makes perfect sense to me. I actually am glad they're doing it because they're proving the Bible right. They're proving the fact that we're living on a flat stationary plane of existence, and they're proving that Jesus Christ is our Lord and Savior, because that's all they ever hate on. That's all they ever scoff at. That's who they hate. These people have been scoffing at the Bible for years now. I've witnessed these atheists and these heathens do this over and over again every day until they're blue in the face. No matter what you show them, you can't change their mind. They always know better. They always have an excuse. They always have a peer-reviewed article written up by some other criminal they've never met, but of course they know it's true. Even though they have no evidence to back their claim, they have words, and they are looking for an excuse, so they find the pseudoscientist or the liar or the Satanist that is saying something that agrees with them, and they don't even read the article. They won't even look into what the actual information is. They'll just say, see, here it is right here, see proof. And that's what they do. They have no choice because they are of Satan. That's what Satan does. Satan doesn't attack the things that are true. I mean, that are false. He only attacks the truth. That's why he attacks Jesus Christ, attacks the Bible, and they of course attack flat Earth because the flat Earth is just growing. There's so many exponential, things going on here. It's just growing faster than anything else, and they're constantly seeing it. They're constantly seeing people like me, of course, talk about it, and of course making them look stupid. And so now here they are. Now they're using the term in their hangouts to attract people that actually want to listen to things about flat Earth, but instead you're getting heathenistic germ monkeys talking about it.
the germ monkeys, that's fine.
Well, yeah, first they were germs on the ball. There was a ball. There was germs on the ball. Then the germs turned into monkeys, and now the monkeys turned into anti-flat earthers and atheists. Yes.
No, I know that, but I giggle every time that term comes up. It's funny.
Right, and that's what's crazy. That's what they're claiming. They claim they came from germs and monkeys. That's not my idea. I'm just expressing what they have told me they believe is reality. That magical germs turn into magical monkeys, and now we have, the Mona Lisa and NASA. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we need some agave. If you got the picture of Hillary Clinton, let me know.
Yep, I do.
Hey, Larry.
Hey,
everybody.
Paul, how are you doing?
All right. Hey, I came in when you were saying that you got problems with the Bible.
Get him, Paula. Get him.
Can you be more specific? Can you?
Oh, wait a minute, Paula. Just so you know, Paula, I'm going to give you the reins on this, Paula, but I was trying to prod Larry for a little while. He would not bite. He would not tell me. But you go ahead. I won't get involved, but you go ahead. There's Hillary Clinton again. Thank you, Agave. That's her true form. See, that's not a reptilian. That's just what Hillary Clinton normally looks like.
Oh, boy. Well,
It reminds me of a line from a Weird Al song where he says he was talking about the first Spider-Man movie and the Green Goblin. And he said he's wearing that dumb Power Rangers mask, but he's scarier without it on. So anyway,
it was pretty good. It's not that I have a problem. I have an issue. There's a difference. I have issues.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, Larry's got issues.
We're dying to know. We're inquiring minds are dying to know what the problem is, because that's what we're gonna look it up right now.
Let me call the drama llama. Hang on.
No, I have absolute issue. First, written by men, written by especially the King James version, and I know Pillux is going to freak out on this one.
No, I'm not freaking out. I just want to know specifically. Just show me one thing, and I'll say I understand what you're saying. That's all I want. I'm not going to try to, beat you over the head with my Bible. I really just want to know what specifically, so that I can research it, so that I can look into it when somebody says, "Well, what about this?" That's all I'm doing it for.
Well, see, the overarching issue is when you say something has been changed or it's got a problem, you got to know what the original was supposed to be, and you have to know details about what the problems are. You can't just say, I got issues with it. You got to be specific and say, for example, I don't like Genesis or, 1.
For example, the Lord's Prayer. I have several Bibles here, and every, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 Bibles of different publish. One is the Farrar Fenton, direct from Latin to English, which is the one I prefer to follow. Does not match King James, does not match Jehovah's Witness, does not match the new, let me stick it up your ass, whatever the new thing is, and the other two, they don't match. April and I have actually sat and opened them to the Lord's Prayer, and they're all different in the way it's supposed to be said, perhaps, or in the way it's interpreted, or the way that it was translated. There are definitely problems with translations. I do not have a Greek Bible, by the way, which I know Paul uses. Perhaps I will research and try to get one of those also and look at that. But however, I do not like the, okay, let's Google search it and pull it up. That can change. We have, and I know April's tired. She's got to get up for work. She had a rough day. She's tired. We've actually gone on Wikipedia and changed the definition, saved the document, and then pulled it right back up, and the change that we have made on that document is still there and done. You can present that document.
We saw that later. Well, did you get your answer, Paula? Because it said the Lord's Prayer, but...
Well, I do have a response. First of all, Wikipedia, even though you can change it, someone else can change it back, and usually they have to have a good reason for allowing the change to stand or for changing it to something else. You can't... Wikipedia would be totally... they do have some standards, in other words. It's not like it used to be, and you can actually get into what's called an editor war, where people say, no, it should be this, no, it should be that, and they go back and forth, and somebody else comes in and puts a stop to it. So they do try to have some kind of standard and not just let the bum off the street change the Bible. They're not going to do that. First of all, that's that issue. The second, it's Wikipedia. It's not the Bible. Okay, so nobody's changing the Bible. Third, we have paper documents of at least parts of the New Testament going back to like 130 A.D., which is phenomenal for any ancient document to be that close to the original time of writing. So there's only so much that can be changed, and we have had these documents cataloged for a long time. So it's not like the telephone game. We can go, as if it were the telephone game, it's like we could go back to the second person in line and ask them. Okay, that's how good we have documentation for the New Testament. Now, when it comes to the Lord's Prayer, the wording, translations are all over the map, and that's not necessarily wrong, because anybody who's ever translated from one language to another, any text, will say there's a couple of different ways to say things without being inaccurate or without changing the original words. Because translation, if you just go word for word, it will never make sense in the secondary language. When you go primary to secondary, as you translate it from one to the other, say the primary is Greek and the secondary is English, if you go word for word, it will not make sense in English. And the whole purpose of translation is to communicate, not to just be technically accurate and as if you could translate with a dictionary alone. So there's more to translation than just a dictionary. Okay, so when it comes to the Lord's Prayer, you have to look at the Greek, which is the original writing. Latin wasn't even in the picture for at least a couple hundred years after the first century, if I recall right. I may have to look up the exact year, but the point is it was written in Greek. Hardly anybody doubts that. If anybody does doubt it, there are some who do. They say it was written in Aramaic or even Hebrew, but nobody says it was written in Latin. Okay, Latin is a translation. Latin is a translation.
And there's also a question as well, because Hebrew, by definition, would be what? That would be the Israelites, correct?
Yes, and even then, like the video I did on language explains, it was the Old Testament was originally written in what is called Paleo-Hebrew, which is a Phoenician alphabet and has no resemblance at all to what we recognize as Hebrew today, or even in the later centuries, still BC. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I interrupted you. I apologize. Go ahead.
That's right. So Paleo-Hebrew is a Phoenician script, and what they have in common with Paleo-Hebrew and what is really Aramaic script for Hebrew as we know it is that there are no written vowels in the language at all. When you write it, there are no vowels in it at all. You're supposed to know what they are, and then we don't know what they are. So several hundred years after Christ, when the group of people called the Masoretes, which they changed their name from Talmudists to Masoretes, they were monkeying with the text at that point, and so they could hide the messianic prophecies. But what they did was they added what's called vowel pointing, which tells you how to pronounce a word, which can totally alter the meaning by how you pronounce the vowels. So by putting these vowel points in, they could change the word of God without technically changing it. It was very sneaky. But we have the consonants, and we have some of the Paleo-Hebrew, but not very much. And by the time of Christ, that Paleo-Hebrew wasn't even in use anymore. They were using a Greek translation of the Old Testament called the Septuagint. And that was considered the Bible, and Jesus had no problem quoting from it, and the apostles had no problem quoting from it. And that is why when the New Testament quotes the Old, the quotes often do not match. It's because the Hebrew text that we have in every version of the Bible since about 400 years AD has been the Masoretic text, which was done by the Jews and was altered. And so that's why they don't match. Even the King James uses that, the Masoretes version.
Okay, going back to the Masoretes, and then you said the Jews have altered that, so the Jews are not the Israelites. Would we agree on that?
No, we would not, because as I explained in my most recent video about Jews, Christians, and prophecy, the original term for Abraham he was called Abraham the Hebrew, okay? And Hebrew meant wanderer or someone who crosses over. That's what the word Hebrew meant, and that's what Abraham was known as, because God sent him out on a journey without telling him where he was going, and so he wandered. And then when there was, skipping a lot of stuff, that he had a son and a grandson, and the grandson was named Jacob, okay? And at one point, Jacob encounters a person, he doesn't know who it is at the time, and challenges him to a wrestling match. And in the end, this person, who turns out to be what's called a theophany, or an appearance of God or Jesus in the Old Testament, renames him from Jacob to Israel. Okay, the name Jacob literal meaning was grabber, because he was born grabbing the heel of his twin brother. When he was born, he had his hand on his brother's heel, and that expression came to be known figuratively as a trickster, and that's what he was. Jacob was a trickster, okay? But later on, he is renamed by Jesus, essentially, in the Old Testament, to Israel, which means he struggles with God and with man and prevails. Okay, so this is a struggling relationship between Israel and God, okay? And now we get to Jews. I'm sorry. I'll get to that next.
So Israel, by definition, and of course the country was founded in 1948 by...
No, see, hold on a second.
Whoops, what was that?
Elephants, also known as loud nose blowing. Not by me. Not by me. No, it's okay. It's the Israel I'm talking about is still BC. Okay? This is the grandson of Abraham, so we're way BC. And his name was Israel. That's his first name. Okay? And then he had 12 sons. These 12 sons turned out to be the heads of 12 tribes or clans, and that's where you get the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay? And this is all BC.
Yep. I'm so
Okay.
far.
All right. And then there's a several hundred-year gap where nothing much happened. The Israelites were exiled. They were bad. They were always bad. And they came back, and a remnant comes back, and then they're good for a while, and then they're bad, and then they get exiled again because God just has fits with them. But they're still his people. He made promises. He's going to keep them. So anyway, by the time Jesus came, the area of that land where the Israelites were was called Judea. The reason it was called Judea is after the name of the tribe whose land that was. The tribes were, all 12 of them were given a section of land in the overall section of Israel. And the only one remaining by the time of Christ was the area occupied by the tribe of Judah. That does not mean the people of that time were only Judeans. They were called Judeans, but they were not just the tribe of Judah. They were all 12 tribes. I don't believe the lost tribes theory. So what you have is they're called Judeans, and if you look at the Greek New Testament, every instance of the word that is translated Jew is actually Judean. Okay? That's where we get the word Jew, is from all the translations that rendered it. That's how they named Judean. So they're all talking about the same people.
So Jewish people have their own book, obviously the Book of Talmud, which is a volume set like an encyclopedia, which is totally different from what you just said.
Oh wait, say that again.
The Jewish religion has, and and they are. Watch how the term Hebrew gets thrown around. Jews or Jewish folks, Jewish people, they have their own book, but it's not one book. It's a volume, the Book of Talmud. Okay. And it's not just a book. It's a series of books.
Actually, the Talmud is not. It's a series of sayings and teachings by the rabbis and scribes, which was never authorized by God. There are 3 T words that people get mixed up. One is the Tanakh, and the second one is the Torah, and the third is the Talmud. Okay, Tanakh pretty much means the Old Testament. Torah means the law, and those are legitimate, but the Talmud is not, and that's what came about during the intertestament time during the Babylonian exile. So the Talmud is, in fact, a vile document that was not authorized by God. It's full of all kinds of crap, and that is essentially what came to be practiced. It's starting to be practiced actually before Christ, and a lot of what he was saying that Jesus said had problems with the Pharisees was because that was their teachings and not God's, and they were passing it off as God's. So yes, in many respects, the practice of Judaism today, and as it has been for a long time, has not been what God wanted. Okay, but what we can find out what God wanted by looking at the Old Testament.
Yeah, see, that's a good point, though, that she brings up, though, Larry, because there are so many additions that are not biblical that we literally they mix them in or they try to act like they are, and of course, all these things with the J word are held to such a high esteem, you can't question any of them or you're anti-Semite, so, that's the way I look at it, but...
How could you be anti-Semite? Anti-Semite means they're not white. They're white, we're white. I mean,
I know. That's the term they use. I know, exactly. It's all stupid. It makes no sense either way. And the fact of the matter is that, I believe that the Hebrews, if I'm using that term correctly, I believe that they're everywhere, and I think that the state of Israel is an abomination.
Yeah, it is, but it's supposed to be, and it was predicted to be. As I said, they've been exiled before, and it'll happen, it happened for 2,000 years, and they're back. That doesn't mean they're good, and they're not the chosen people because they're good. They're chosen because of the promise to Abraham, and there's even, I don't have the scripture reference right in my head here, but where God says, I didn't choose you because you were good or because you were numerous. I chose you for the exact opposite reason. You give me a bad name everywhere you go. I chose you because I made promises to Abraham, who was righteous. You know, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, there were a lot of righteous Jews, but the people had continued to defame him and make him a laughingstock among the Gentiles. And so their being the chosen people doesn't have anything to do with their merit.
Revelation 2:9 and 3:9, please.
Yes, exactly, but we get to that. What's your question, Larry?
Oh boy, you know, if I hold it up, it's written by men. Hey, it's not going to convince me. I have a gut feeling, a gut knowing of the individual I am. I understand, and I do love the passion on all sides, of course. I'm just not willing to put my hand down on that sort of thing. I am not a Bible hater, of course, never.
Right, but
I do. No. I said, however, I do have.
I can say, but.
Yeah, you can say, but yeah, I do have certain reservations
Yes,
that
I
I have
understand.
seen over my lifetime that do not make sense about throwing the word Jew versus Gentile or Gentiles versus the elite and all those different things. It has been so skewed, almost as much as many folks also. North Pole, South Pole, get it right. South Pole, North Pole, it's hollow, it's this, it's that. Come on. It could be something totally turned upside down, written by men who were definitely.
It's a giant tortoise. It's a giant tortoise, Larry, with elephants on it.
Okay.
Okay.
Larry, when you say written by men, that's pretty vague. What I think I hear you saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that you don't believe God had anything to do with it. But here's the thing.
No, I do. No, I do believe.
Oh, okay.
I do believe God's hand was in it. The Creator or the
Right.
Creator, which
Right.
may be many, because God, the Creator, one of many, made man in His image. So no, I understand that. But also, it's like a little ping pong or a little slot machine game or the pinball game type of thing. It's like, hey, listen, I'll throw this wrench in there, I'll throw this wrench in there, that type of thing. I am not going to be 100% convinced, especially because my ass is old, one way or the other. I think the term that is thrown around about Hebrew by definition is different. Gentile, that particular one is a question mark. That's almost like calling somebody a very slang word, whatever side you're on, whatever tribe that everyone is from and can get back to eventually, I'm sure. The 12 original tribes, or possibly the 13th one that was lost.
How do you know it was lost?
Because we haven't found it yet. That's a
How
weird
do you
thing.
know it was there in the first place?
Well, you just said the 12 tribes. How do we know the 12 tribes were there?
No, you're saying there were 13, and I was asking, how do you know there were 13 originally?
I believe that there were 13, and the reason I do is very simple, because there are 13 months in the year. 52.
What does that have to do with the number of tribes? I mean, I know the theory. I know there's a theory that there must have been one, but
there's also
that's not proof. That's not evidence.
No, it's a missing missing constellation. Also, there's only 12.
Well, see, here's the thing. If I draw something like a shape like the letter C, okay, only it's just like 3/4 of a circle.
Right.
How do you know whether there's anything missing? You may think, well, you got to complete the circle. There's 1/4 of it missing, but that doesn't prove that I meant to draw a circle. You see what I'm saying logically?
I immediately think a cookie when you do that. Can you use a different letter, please?
I don't know. Probably everything can be related
An
to
I.
some kind
How
of
do we know
food.
that the I, has a space in it? You know what I mean? Or whatever. I mean, either way. But I see what you're saying.
Yeah, what I'm
pizza
getting at is a
missing a
logical
slice.
error, okay? Of presuming what should have been without offering any kind of proof or logical argument or some kind of evidence, something to go on to say whether something was originally there. That's all I'm saying.
I can only do that by book and text that I have and that I have read and that I have several of, and different meanings of the terms of a dictionary, which have been changed over the years.
How do you know?
Thankfully have been handed down dictionaries from my great-grandparents from like 1911. The terms, pardon me, the definition of different words, way off from
Well, see here,
what you would.
I agree, but here's the thing: English is always a volatile language. It changes all the time, and that's not necessarily bad. It's just how people use it, and words change meaning sometimes completely to the opposite of what they used to be. For example, in Middle English, "let" meant to prevent. It meant the totally opposite of what we think of it now, and that's not bad. The thing is, we only know that changed because we can say, see, this is how they used it then, this is how we use it now, that's how we know it changed. So we got evidence to look at to say what it used to mean. So anytime you say something's changed, you got to show me the original, otherwise you can't prove that it's changed.
Well, what's the original? Define the original. Or
Well,
actually, no. Oh, wait. Define the genuine. You know how much of a stickler I am on genuine.
Right.
Genuine original copy. Show and
well, see, I'm not the one saying something changed necessarily, except I'm the example I gave was Middle English to modern English, and we have plenty of documents. I mean, there's thousands and thousands of documents for that. But when it comes to the Bible, we always have freely admitted nobody has original handwritten what they call autographs. Okay, an autograph is the original first handwriting. That's an autograph. Okay.
Where are they?
We don't have them. But here's the thing.
They're inside the Vatican walls is where they are.
No. Maybe. Who knows? But the point is this, that every ancient document, none of them have originals. And there's sciences and methods that are tried and true that will get you to compare all the copies you have and get very, very close with high confidence in the original. And they can prove this over and over in colleges where, for example, one professor was in the habit of giving his class toward the end of a course. He would give them have a class where he would say, okay, this group, I want you to translate this as carefully as you can. The next group, you're in a hurry. The third group, I'm only going to give you half the documents. The fourth group, there are mistakes in it. And he would have them all try to work together to get to the original writing. And in every case, using those methods, they would get within, like 1% when the only difference is being connecting words like and the. So it's a good science. It's a good method. It's been tried and true on all sorts of documents, secular, biblical, whatever language you want to think of, or whatever document. And so it is possible to not have the originals, but have a pretty good degree of confidence in what they were. Otherwise, if you throw that out for the Bible, you have to throw it out for every ancient document in history. So, then if you do that, you're just going to have to completely reinvent the wheel. And by what standard? Nobody has ever told me what they're going to do to prove anything.
My belief is my gut feeling that the Ten Commandments, although could have a little bit of a flaw to them, it's a feeling that you have as you go through what we're going through. There's a gut feeling about certain things. If I believe something is wrong, it's wrong. If I believe it's right, it's right. I go with that feeling. I don't necessarily need a book to tell me.
Right, but what I'm not saying that only a book can tell you morality, but what I'm saying is if you make a claim about a written document, you need more than a gut feeling to challenge that, to support that claim. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Now, when it comes, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. No, when it comes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, when it comes to morality, certainly there is a commonality among all cultures and times on certain things like murder and theft, those are being wrong. But even the New Testament comes out and says, Paul was writing to his fellow Jews and shaming them by saying, look, you've got the law all written down, but you don't follow it, yet there are Gentiles out there who don't have the law who follow it just by doing what's right and following, having a conscience. And so he was shaming them and saying, and agreeing with what you just said, people have an intrinsic knowledge of what's right and wrong in the basics. Okay, there are some cultures, for example, I use the ancient Japanese as an example. They think it's very moral and honorable that if someone has been dishonored, that they should die and that they should commit suicide, and do it by a very specific method where they basically gut themselves, and if they fail, then somebody's supposed to cut off their head with a sword. That is barbaric to us, it's evil, but they think it's highly moral. So you got to be careful when you use gut feelings or intrinsic good and evil to say, to define it, to define good and evil. You know what I'm saying?
So, well, they call it the state of Israel, which is kind of bizarre in itself. Instead of the country of Israel, it's the state of Israel. Jewish people in general, Jewish people by definition, calling that state the state of Israel, they believe they are the true and only Israelites. Do you believe that?
Okay, let me give some background. And no, I don't agree with them, but here's some more background. First of all, God predicted that Israel would be in the land again, and they would be there in unbelief. So the Bible predicts this. Okay, who cares how and why it happened by ordinary means? I mean, were we supposed to wake up one morning and there's Israel in the land and then we're to believe God did it? Well, God didn't have to do it. He predicted it. And there's a difference between causing and predicting. So he predicted thousands of years ago that there would be an Israel in the land in the last days, and there they are. It's the land and the people. So there's a land of Israel, or more properly at this time, Judea, which would be a better, more accurate name for it, and people there claiming to be Jews who are not believers. Okay, so they are fake Jews. But there are some genuine ones, and God knows who they are, and he'll find out who they are, because the coming judgments for 7 years are going to have the purpose of cleansing them and getting rid of all the fakes. Okay, so who cares whether it's the Balfour Declaration and the Rothschilds that set it up? God predicted it. That's the point. And they will be judged. They're bad, and God knows it, and says you got 7 years yet of your judgment remaining.
Can I say something real quick, Paula?
Sure.
So, Larry, taking the translations out of it, though, hypothetically, if you were to, let's say, if we were to both, read the original Hebrew Bible and the Old Testament, let's just start with the Old Testament, and we understood it, and it pretty much matched up, let's say, basically with all the big points, of the creation story and the Torah, the 6-day creation and the flood, and all of that, was translated correctly, and we figured it out. What would be the problem then as far as believing that? And I'm just talking about, obviously, the Old Testament, all the big, interesting climactic events that happened, the murder, the wars, the strife, and of course the creation story. Do you believe that creation story, or?
I believe in the Creator that created. I believe in the Creator that created us in the image, and you can't say he, she. It's the image of the Creator. That's it. Do I believe in all the other different things or the other wacky things? No.
Well, what's wacky though? What do you mean by wacky? What's wacky?
Well, because somebody's going to come in and be like, "Oh my goodness, you're like a sorcerer. You believe in like Talmud cards and throwing things down, and all of a sudden things." No, not all the sorcery.
Like you don't believe in the Ten Commandments story.
Oh, I believe in a gut feeling that I have, and the commandments as they were written and passed down make a lot of sense to me. It's either you know or you don't know, and that's really it.
So without translations, though, what would you have as far as a problem with the writings? If we could find out that it was translated correctly, the general idea, what would the problems be after that? I mean, if it's not a translation problem, is it just the original fact that God obviously will, if God has a book written, he's going to use man to do it. That would be my, that would make sense to me. And it's just like he obviously, had to have a man meet him, like, Moses, as far as the 10, like he had to have somebody meet him. Here's the 10 Commandments, and then obviously Moses had to rewrite them, but Are there any things about that you have a problem with? Do you have a problem with the 6-day creation story itself,
No,
or anything
no.
like that?
No. That I do not have a problem with. I don't have a problem with that. You can go back and, based on pseudoscience and science, everything. I do not have a problem with the creation story. As it's written, I believe myself as an individual for myself. I have a yes or no switch. Let's say. We all know if it's good or bad. I do not need a book of any kind, and I was brought up Roman Catholic too, by the way, which you guys know. I have an on-off switch, which I know if it's right, I know if it's wrong. I definitely do. Should I choose to go to the wrong? I own that. I own that it's me. I own that because I have made a wrong decision. If I go to the correct decision, because I know it's right, I own that also. And I choose to do what's right. I don't need a book, and there are so many things that are written and things that everyone can take and start reading through and look at and present, which I have a trouble presenting, by the way. With the thing, and April has to help me because I don't know where the hell I know the green thing and everything else. We'll do that on at another time, and I'll present the 5 different versions of different things or different definitions, even from, and it's very old. It's like a 1911 dictionary. That the definition of the word is different. It's changed over time from 100 years ago. So now we're talking about thousands of years. Okay, everybody has an instinctive way of deciding right and wrong. We all know this, and so many have chosen, either direction. That's fine. That's up to them as an individual. That's all I'm saying. Do I believe in the book, and you hold up the book and you say, this is it? No, I don't. I don't, because, all right, show me the exact book. I think the book itself is a metaphor for what's built inside of every one of us individually.
Okay, but here's my question. My objection, I guess you could say, is you really don't have anything objective by which to measure true from false or say which is accurate and not accurate. It's just your gut feeling, and that's subjective. That's not objective. It's not something you can defend other than saying this is what I believe, which you have a right to do, and make up, what you can believe whatever you want. But you can't say somebody else is wrong since there's nothing objective about it. It's just one gut feeling against another. You see what I'm saying?
Well, it's hard to see what you're saying because I understand what you're saying. I would say it exactly like this. I'm not judging anyone. It's up to them to judge themselves. But if you would give me a scenario that I'm in, I would say honestly which or what I would choose to do. Based on, it could be any type of scenario. What would I choose to do? Somebody getting the shit beat out of them by somebody who, and there's no police around or anything else. I'll try the best I can to break that thing up. I didn't choose a side. It's just, okay, it has to be settled somewhere else and differently. If you see, I don't know, make any scenario up you want to. Would I jump in? Okay, I'll do this one. Some guy, and his girlfriend, and he's like treating her badly and grabbing her by the arm and stuff like that. Do you think I'm going to jump in? More than likely, yes, because that is not correct. There are certain feelings you have about different things that you will jump in when the time is right.
Okay,
when you're involved in something.
But see, here's the thing. Like I said, even the Bible says you don't need a book to tell you right from wrong. So what the point is about the Bible as a book is it's like somebody trying to put some complicated mechanical thing together without any manual at all. Some people can do pretty well with that.
I can.
But there's a manual for a reason. And to say you don't need it is okay. Maybe you don't, but it really helps, and there's a reason somebody took the time to write that manual. There's maybe some things in there that you don't know. and you won't know unless you read it.
I am. You know what? I am sure about that. I am sure. I am absolutely sure about that. You know, there are definitely things that I don't know, even in my
Right.
age of-
So it's not that you. It's not the question. The whole question of whether you need a book to be good or not is really beside the point. The point
Yes.
about the Bible is going to tell you what you don't know, and it's going to tell you who God is. And the thing about the Bible is it's not the sort of book that liars would write because it condemns liars. It's not the sort of book that Jews would write because it really condemns Jews. It says that how bad they've been. It's not the sort of book that the apostles of Jesus would write because they're portrayed in the New Testament as often faithless, cowardly, bullheaded. You know, Jesus wasn't very nice to the disciples a lot of times. So there's no motivation for anybody to have faked the Bible, not even the powers that be, because they're the kind of people it condemns and says will be destroyed in the lake of fire forever. So they wouldn't write this book either. And so there's something about the Bible, and you have to remember it wasn't all written in one setting. It took almost 1,400 years to write, several different continents, 40 different writers, and yet it has a unifying theme: the creation of the world, the fall of man, the redemption of man, and the final restoration of creation. It's a unified chronology of the whole of human history, and to do that in spite of the number of authors, the number of years, the number of different backgrounds and everything is really pretty phenomenal, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's real simple, and no one needs a book for it. It is my point. Not that
Book for what?
the book, the Bible itself, or the
Needs
book.
it for what?
Well, I need it, Larry. But I need it, Larry, because every time I read it, I learn things. You know, so I personally need it because it has literally helped me on my path in every single way. Anytime I doubted it, I spent the time to look into it more and more. And every time I've looked into it more and more, it has helped me more, and it's exponentially helping me. And you know, that's after about 7 or 8 years, you know, of trying to figure things out. And I don't even know not even 10% of it. And I get names confused all day. I got to re-look up it again. Oh, okay. Now I know. And it literally it's done worlds for me. It has made it so clear for me to understand things, not just on right and wrong. We do know right and wrong, but on God's point, or why, or how, or did this animal exist, or what type of animal was that, or what type of people, or were there giants? All these things matter to me, and it's helped me. You know, without knowing about that, how would I be able to discern, you know, these ancient ideas? Well, at the same time, I have this Bible that correlates it perfectly and describes my own psyche or my spiritual being as well. You know, it's crazy. You know, it even describes my enemies to a T. It describes them as walking after their own lusts and scoffing. And that's how the main reason, the thing that proves the Bible correct to me, Larry, and this is just my personal experience, is the enemy. Who is the enemy of the Bible? And guess what? They are the opposite of me. And that's how I know the Bible is true.
Yeah, so if I were to try to summarize, I think the issue that I seem to hear you bringing up is that, well, here's what I would say: you can't prove the Bible false.
Correct.
That's something I think, yeah, we can all agree on. You can't prove it false. Proving it true is a whole other issue. But what I said about the motivation for writing it and the theme of it, in spite of all the differences of, you know, time and place and number of people. But the bottom line for me is my little catchphrase for anything to do with any of this is start with Jesus. You start with him and you work your way out from there. And the reason I believe that Jesus rose from the dead, even secular scholars believe that Jesus lived and died. He was killed by, you know, ordered to be put to death by Pontius Pilate. Nobody disputes that. He existed. That's not a question. He was put to death by Pilate. That matches the Bible. That's not in question either. But the question is how you would know whether he rose from the dead, because on that one point hinges the entire Christian faith. Disprove that and you disprove Christianity. And if you disprove Christianity, who needs the Bible then? Okay, so this is the crux of, the literal crux, which comes from crucifixion. It's the crux of our whole faith. And many have tried to disprove that. And what they do, there's this one guy named Simon Greenleaf, who was one of the founders of the Harvard School of Law, who was an atheist and was challenged by some of his students to put his legal methods onto the resurrection story and see whether Jesus is innocent or guilty of still being dead. Okay? That's what he was set out to do, and he was motivated to find Jesus guilty of still being dead. But he couldn't. He applied his methods. He examined the witnesses, hostile and friendly. He found which ones were credible by their character and by historical documents and whatnot. And by any rational means of any way we can ever tell something that's not a scientific question, but a historical one, which is what happens in every court of law because you're always dealing with a past event, is you have to examine the witnesses. And he did that and found them credible, and he had to conclude, in spite of everything he set out to do, that Jesus did rise from the dead. So there's pretty convincing evidence if you're willing to accept the evidence. And the problem I keep running into, whether it's this or flat earth or anything else, is people can't agree on what evidence is. And they won't say what evidence is. And it changes from one minute to the next, it seems. Like 1 minute with the ball earth apologists, they will say, well, lensing effect works here, but it doesn't work there. And you can use it here and not this argument, but not there. It's very inconsistent. So when it comes to the Bible and with whether, especially whether Jesus rose from the dead, that is an issue that depends on evidence, and you have to have some kind of standard to judge what evidence is valid. And because I've accepted certain things as valid evidence, I believe he rose from the dead. And if he rose from the dead, then the Bible is true. And if the Bible is true, then I better read it. And it's going to tell me the future to some extent. So that's why it's important to me.
Wait, Larry, that's a good question. If it turned out that you saw something that showed you that the Bible was true, then would you read it?
If I saw, if I read something in the Bible that was...
No, let me just say that, let's just put it, if you just knew all of a sudden that the Bible was true, would you read it? No matter what the reason, if you knew the Bible was true, would you read it?
Well, you're assuming, and that's dangerous to assume. I've already read. I haven't read the whole.
No, what I'm talking about is my point is if you knew it was true, would you then read it to because even the greatest scholars of the Bible on earth don't even remember more than a quarter or a tenth of the Bible. I probably can remember 1% myself. So. I only understand probably a quarter. But my point is, if you knew it was true, then would that change your outlook on? Then would you actually use it more and obviously read it more if you knew it was true?
I've already read through. I've read the passages.
No, I know. But if I asked you to tell me what Job 2 says right now, could you tell me? No, of course not.
No, absolutely.
No. Right, exactly. That's my point. So even though we've all read the Bible, we don't have it all memorized, and that's why even the greatest Bible scholars, whether they agree with my paradigm or something, they read it over. And I guarantee Paula has probably read the Bible 10 times as much as I have, and she's going to read it again because she believes that it's true. So I'm asking you, even if you've read it before, would you then turn to it again if it turned out it was true? Would you go back to it and look at it again and try to read more of it?
I know what's true as an individual, as myself, as my own soul, and I own that, and I got that. So to read something that was published, it's almost like reading a dictionary with 3 or 4 different descriptions of a word.
Right. Well, that's the reason you read a dictionary, right? You read a dictionary, right?
Well, of course, if you want me to look something up, is
right
it
now.
Black's
But
Law?
now, did man write the dictionary?
What's that?
Now, did man write the dictionary?
Yes, several, and I have a problem with that.
Right, exactly. So we both read the dictionary. I would love to read some older. I'd love to see that 1911 one. That's a very interesting year for me as well.
Actually,
I would love to see that. But we have to admit that we read these dictionaries because we are believing that this is correct. That's why even though you already know what the word saucer means or boat or cat, you might sometimes, I don't know what the word ovoviviparous means. So I might need to look at that dictionary to find out what ovoviviparous means or oviparous. So When there are two different words right there, they're very similar. So we don't have that in our, not all of us know what that means at the drop of the hat, so we have to reread the dictionary and go, you know what, let me look up that word again. I forget if it's ovoviviparous or oviparous, because we believe it's true. So if you believe the Bible was true, wouldn't you then, of course, go back to reading it?
I think it's internal. I think it's something we're all here with. To go back and read something, whatever happens, I'll know how to react on that sort of thing based on good and evil. I just know. I can't explain it. It's something I cannot explain. I don't have to read a book to determine what.
No, but you are mentioning the dictionary, but you do have to reread those dictionaries, right? Why can't you just know what the word means though? Like think of a word that you might not know what the term is. Well, can't you just think about it in your head and figure it out? No, because that's why you're reading the dictionary.
I could say the word "to" right now. And does that mean T-O or T-O-O or T-W-O? Nobody knows.
That means whatever you were thinking it means. But if you don't know what the word means, like let's see, how about what is the word? Mammalian. Like, what does the word mammalian mean?
Mammalian?
Mammalian?
Yeah, mammalian. What does that mean?
Mammalian? Yeah. I think Gabby has it. Isn't that the little Gnorc alien? Mammalian?
maybe so. So that's what I'm saying is that we don't know. We might have 3 different opinions right here, 4 or 5 different opinions. So one of us, I guarantee you, if it was an issue, we would look at the dictionary to go, wait a minute, what does this mean? Which of course is a book written by man, but we are using it as an authority. Well, God, in the same sense, did the same thing. He gave us something like a dictionary that's actually a lot more powerful, and it actually describes the history. It's like an encyclopedia, dictionary, do all at once, basic instructions before leaving Earth manual. And that's the way I look at it. I look at, you know what, I need to look this up again. I just had to look up a bunch of things. I think it was in Ezekiel, because I can't remember any of them. I don't know what order they're in. I don't know if it's Ezekiel 1 or I have to look it up. I have to refigure it out because I don't have it memorized. It's I don't know of anybody on the earth that knows the Bible by heart. I'm sure there are some people that claim to know, but that's why we have to relook it up, because we are instilled with the knowledge of good and evil, but we aren't instilled with all the reasons why or how to explain these things. Like if somebody met you and they were younger than you and they were asking you questions about history, maybe related to the Bible, you might have to say, you know what, I have to look that up. Like if they asked you who in Joshua 10 or Joshua 1, who were the Israelites fighting against, and this is just in a historical account, you would have to read Joshua to figure out who the Israelites were fighting. Is that not, that's correct, right?
If and only if, and I do not know the passage, so I want to be very clear on that. If the Israelites were actually fighting the Jews, and the Jews are in Israel, and they call themselves the Israelites, well, that's a conflict of interest right there.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that you're going to have to look it up. You're going to have to see what it says, and if it says the Israelites are fighting the Jews, then you can say, hey, this doesn't make sense, and you might have to do some more research. But if it says the Israelites were fighting the Amorites, then you can say, hey, Billy or Sarah, whoever that kid was that was talking, you can say, it says right here, Joshua 1, it was the Amorites. And there you go, you got the answer. But you didn't know that in your mind, you had to look it up, just like I had to look it up. And I, of course, memorized that by now because I've read it about 1,000 times because it relates to the flat earth, so of course I'm biased. That's another thing. If somebody asks you, well, where in the Bible does it talk about the flat earth? Like, Joshua 10, 12 through 14. It even describes the sun and the moon stopping over 2 specific locations, which is absolutely ridiculously preposterous on a heliocentric model. Of course, we all know that. So I would look at the Bible and say, look at this historical account right here. It says the sun and the moon stopped over the valley of Gibeon and Ajalon, the 2 specified locations. So if I didn't have that memorized, I'd have to look it up. But there are, of course, thousands of things I don't have memorized, and if somebody asks me, I'm going to go, you know what, I'm going to look that up. And that's the way I look at the Bible, that it is literally the end all. It is everything you could ever imagine a book could be, and it makes sense to me, because if God was going to preserve a message, wouldn't he have to preserve it in some sort of writing format? So obviously he was going to use humans to do that for him, and even if it's not 100% perfectly accurate to the original version, I bet I could get the gist of things, and if I was still confused, I could look back in time by the original versions, or the Hebrew or the Greek, and I can try to use my discernment to come up with the best explanation that I possibly could, but I would have to look at the books, or else I wouldn't have an answer.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier about Start with Jesus and looking at the evidence surrounding him to know whether he rose from the dead, because that fact is where everything stands or falls. If he didn't rise, then nothing else matters. He's just another person in history. But if he did, then everything changes, because then you have proof of someone who claimed to be God, who proved it by rising from the dead, and after predicting it and fulfilling all these prophecies. And that means the prophecies that remain are going to be accurate and be fulfilled too. But here's the thing, is that Jesus came to reconcile us to God. That's all you really need to know. Everything else can be disputed to some extent, but Jesus stated his purpose was to reconcile us to God, so that if you want to be reconciled with God, it's a relationship repairing, okay? That's what reconciliation means, that you're on good terms with somebody again, okay? And Jesus said, I'm the way, the truth, the life. Nobody comes to the Father except through me. So in order to be reconciled to God, you put your trust in the Jesus who rose from the dead. And that's how simple the gospel is. People have made it complicated, and the Bible is deep, but the central message is that Jesus came, he rose from the dead, trust him, and you'll be good with God. And if you don't want to spend eternity with God, you don't have to. He made a place for people to go to get away from God. And by nature, that place must be bad, because God is the source of everything good. So God is just going to give some people what they demand, to be away from him. But if you want to be with him, you trust Jesus rose from the dead. And that is the message of the Bible from front to back. And it's that simple. That's what it's all about. Not about being good necessarily. Yes, you should be good. And you should be good especially if you're grateful for what Jesus did for you. But you don't need to know anything but that to be saved, to be reconciled to God. That's what being saved is. That's all you need to know. And it's a simple decision, and it equalizes the playing field, because it doesn't depend on your intelligence, it doesn't depend on your performance, it doesn't depend on when you lived in history even, because God takes care of the before and after. What matters is what you do with what you know, and if you've been told this, then you have a simple decision to make. Do you want to be reconciled to God or not? And if so, are you going to do it on his terms? That's what it's all about. Nothing else matters.
Yeah, I would say I'd compare it to, like, if I saw a very attractive lady in my younger years and I wanted to get to know her, the way for me to get to know that person is probably not to ignore them or, throw food at them. I probably have to be nice and spend some time trying to at least get to know the person, or have that person get to know me, or converse with them to develop a relationship. If the prettiest girl in school is someone I want to talk to, and I just ignore her, obviously then I'm not gonna get to know the prettiest girl in school. That's the way I look at it. Like, if I don't try to develop a relationship, then there is not going to be a relationship. I have to make an effort to get to know that person, and if that person doesn't see me trying to talk to them or trying to figure out who they are, then they're not going to know me, and they're not going to have a relationship with me. I don't know who Pillbox is, some weirdo. Yeah, because I never did what I was supposed to do, which was try to get to know the person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's one of my biggest criticisms I've spent on many years on my own fellow believers, is what they're doing when they spread the gospel is selling fire insurance. They're not. You cannot guilt or scare someone into a relationship. I mean, that may be our motivation for spreading the gospel and saying, look, I care that there's this tornado coming. I'm going to warn people, but the analogy isn't perfect, because it's more like a marriage proposal. Because if you accept a ring, if somebody proposes to marry someone else, they offer a ring or some other token, and if someone accepts the token, that's not all they want. They're accepting the person. That's just a representation of a relationship that they want. And so it's the person you're accepting. In the same way with salvation, it's God you're accepting or rejecting. And you can't use guilt or fear or anything else but deciding whether you want to return God's love or not. And that's all it boils down to. And that's why it isn't just about being good. Yes, you can be good without the Bible. You can be good without believing that Jesus rose from the dead or that he even existed. But you can't have a relationship with God without that, in my opinion.
It's all good. It's all good. I just I have issue, not a problem. I have issue with it. I just think it's something that we're all born with. It's an instinctive.
Right, but here's the thing. If I say I went to your house, but I really went to Pillbox's house, just because you're both people, you're both guys, and you both live in houses, doesn't mean you're both the same person, and that if I have a relationship with one of you, I have a relationship with the other. See, God is a personal being, and you can't say you're reconciled to him if you don't even believe, either A, don't believe he exists, or B, which I know is not true of you, or B, you don't care who he is or what his name is or where he lives. You know, you can't have a relationship with some vague idea. You have a relationship with a person.
That doesn't count, because Pillbox is a Dodge guy, I'm a Chevy guy. There's a conflict of interest. Pillbox, you need to chime in on this one.
Well, see, that makes it easier, doesn't it? You know, you're two very different people.
Well, that's the thing, though, Larry, is that there's not a lot of options when it comes to a deity. There's no Dodge or Chevy deities. There's only one option. The only option that we have, and this goes back to the only two beliefs in the world. There's only two beliefs in the world. Those two beliefs are, and this is from Rand Campbell, and he taught me this, and he's absolutely correct. The two beliefs of the world are: you can save yourself, or you need to be saved. And the only spiritual entity that makes it very clear that we need to be saved is Jesus Christ. And that is it. There is no other option. And we all know that we can't save ourselves, period.
So with that being said, you, and again, not being witchcraftful here, you believe in a chakra? Chakra is how would I describe it? I'm probably going to butcher this, so I apologize in advance.
Yeah, that's Hindu.
It could be any religion. Just the connection that each individual has with the Creator. Mine is very large, so I have no problem with anything being said. I'm not going to sway to one side or the other. I just know what I know. How do I know it? I have no idea. But I don't need a book or even for that matter a dictionary or anything else to know if something is wrong. I just know. I'm not sure how. I just know.
Well, do you know that the global flood happened? Which, of course, is a bad terminology. I'm still using the word global, of course, because it's been sent into my brain for the last 20 years.
Come on, that was Pillbox. That was a loaded question, man.
That was a fail, actually, because I said global like an idiot. So worldwide, on the flat plain, there was a flood that I believe in. Do you agree with the flood, the great flood of Noah? You can say no, Larry.
No. I'm trying to phrase my question or my answer properly. Yes, because of what was created didn't fit with what was supposed to be. It's almost like that. Boy, this is going to get back to like.
No, that's my point. Though. So for some reason, that's true. Though that's my point. For some reason, either by discernment, or maybe you just have this inherent knowledge, like, yeah, that happened. Like you might just know that, right?
Well, no. Don't jump on me. I was about to finish here. There was a situation where I had guys working for me, and we installed something incorrectly. So it could have been left. The homeowner, they liked what was installed. I did not. I was like, screw this. It's going to be done correctly, and it was done correctly by the end of the day, and it cost, and I did not charge the homeowner anything else. It was done by us, and I took care of it, and it was done correctly, and that was a lesson learned. Kind of pointing that toward the Great Flood, where could there have been a reset at some point? Absolutely. Why would I not think that? My instant feeling is, Yeah, there could have been a reset, maybe several times. I do not know. If something is wrong and you see it to be wrong, you can instantly change it and make it correct, and everybody walks away happy. And whatever, that might be getting it down to the brass tacks, of course, because we're talking about a small patio, as opposed to something as large as where we are and everything else. My thought on that is, if it's wrong, and it has to be done. That's it. The correct way.
Yeah, everybody walked away happy, dead, There's only 8 survivors and a bunch of animals and a big farm and some dragons.
Well, at that point, then we all came from Noah and his 7 other folks, and came from one family, and it wasn't Adam and Eve because everybody else was dead. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, so how do you know that? How do you know we came from 8 people?
You just said that.
So you know that because of Pillbox.
No, I'm asking a question.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, do you believe that we came from 8 people after the flood?
No.
Okay, so you don't believe that.
I don't believe it. I don't believe we came from just Noah and his family after the flood. No. I think there was many other things happening. Do I believe there was a reset a couple of times? Yeah, hell yeah.
Or heavens, yeah.
Heavens, yeah.
But on what basis do you believe it? Is it all gut feeling?
Boy, that's a loaded. That's
research.
That's a loaded question right there.
Well, that's what you've been saying all this time. It's all your gut feeling, but you say, for example, you believe there were lots of other things involved in how, that we didn't come from just 8 people, but is there any research you've done to reach that conclusion?
Well, here's the thing. You got Adam and Eve. They started. There we go. 2, and move on from there. And the interpretation can go all over the place. And then God, the Creator, flooded the earth, and then got Noah on his ark on his little boat with a couple people, and then we all started again from a certain amount, and then we're all here. Well, he being Noah would have had to have all the different 12 original tribes.
See, I've posted a site many times before here to very technical details about the ark and how huge it was. It was not a little boat. It was very seaworthy. And all you need are the babies of animals. You don't need the full size. And you don't need, for example, every kind of dog. They all descended from one pair of wolves, most likely. So, when it comes to comparing to, say, evolution, they believe we all descended from a rock or a pond scum or something like that, and I think the Noah story, the Ark story, makes a lot more sense, personally.
Well, it could, but that erases the Adam and Eve story, because that happened before.
No, it doesn't.
Well, that happened after the Ark, so Adam and Eve came after the Ark story?
No. How does it erase anything in the past?
Well,
what do you mean erase?
All right, so Adam and Eve, that's where it started, and obviously the serpent and the cattle of the field and all that stuff in Genesis. You can go through that.
Right.
Then all of a sudden, somehow, I'm not sure who, but the Creator, God, got pissed off. Okay, the flood thing got a whole big, yeah. Wait a second here. On the side, I'm not sure. All right, let me finish my thought first before anything else happens. All right, so you got this big ark, and somebody actually built a replica of this, and obviously there's more than 8 people that would replenish, and they were good, and all this sort of thing. Got that?
Hold on. Genetically, can you prove that it had to take more than 8 people to replenish the Earth?
No, I didn't say 8 people. Pillbox said 8 people. I didn't say 8
I mean,
people.
you said it took more than 8 people. That's what I'm asking. How do you know how many people it would have required genetically?
If we line up 8 different backgrounds of folks from around, how would you get 12 tribes? You would be back to 8.
That's a non sequitur. That's like saying 2 + 2 is banana. I mean, logically, it's the 12 tribes have nothing to do with the 8 sons of Noah. I mean, they're just a subset of all the descendants, all the people who have lived since Noah. I mean, we all descend from Noah and his.
Right. By then, there had to be hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people. So,
Yeah.
I mean, 12 tribes is not a big number to me. But
And God just picked out Abraham for being a righteous man who trusted God, and that's where Israel comes from. And then the 12 tribes, as I mentioned, were the 12 sons of Abraham's grandson Jacob, who was named Israel. That's where they come from. It has nothing to do with. I mean, this is after the Tower of Babel too, which is another dividing thing in history.
Oh, okay. You know what? We're gonna. May I change? Can I get a ding on the bell, please, or somebody?
no, Larry, you're not allowed.
No.
Okay. No. There's something a little more pertinent to attend to at this moment, and we will definitely get back there. So please hold that thought, and we will get back to it. Reading in our chat here. Take a second.
I think everyone should watch that video. Everyone. I mean, I want the truth out. So.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead. Let's see. Let's do a call. I have not personally seen.
I haven't either. I just have this link here, and supposedly I'm a sower of discord on Richard Clark's channel. I have like 20 different screen captures of him sowing discord against me, even in chats where I've never been, such as Dave's chat the other day. I watched it. I did not participate, and yet he was turning everybody he could find against me. And there's a video here. I just can imagine what's in it. It's probably like his hillbilly one where he claims to apologize, and then like a 2-year-old, he turns around and says, "Ha, fooled you."
Yeah,
that's what's going on in the chat.
Yeah, and for all the folks here, we can all disagree. We're still all friends. At the end of the day, we're still all friends, including many that have viewed and been around the videos. It doesn't mean that we're going at each other.
See, here's the thing.
Yeah.
If I may say something in my defense that I'm never allowed to say when Richard's around.
Go ahead.
Is I have never begged or demanded to be on anybody's panel. I'm invited. I go by invitation, and sometimes they have to twist my arm to get me there. I have never slandered Jeff Stewart or his wife. I have never even slandered Hillbilly, and I have my differences with him as well. I have never slandered Richard Clark or called him a devil. I have never tried to turn you or Brian against anyone, especially Richard. I don't hate Richard. I just really am perplexed about what I ever did to him to deserve this kind of treatment. He does everything he accuses me of doing. And all I want him to do, even if he never apologizes, I don't care. All I want him to do is stop trying to slander me, and I will report his video. I have already reported it. And I don't care if nobody else does or YouTube doesn't do anything about it. The point is he's acting like a toddler and being hypocritical, accusing me of everything he himself is doing. He curses. He does all sorts of things. He calls me names, and I've just had it with him. I mean, I am not guilty of anything he's charged me of. If anybody wants to know, all they have to do is look at my websites, my YouTube channel, my comments anywhere, and show one shred of proof that anything Richard Clark said about me is true. That's all I got to say. Thanks for letting me get that out.
Yeah, guys, and listen, I don't know if anybody's obviously listening to this. I don't see the chat, Paula, but yeah, this infighting garbage has got to stop. I am tired of people fighting each other, especially that are Christians, especially in the flat earth side of this, guys. This is the last thing we need. The worst thing you can do is not handle your issues privately. Stop making them public. It is not helping anything. I don't care if somebody says that some Christian in the community said that Pillbox murdered somebody. Great. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go talk to that person personally and deal with it. Stop the infighting. It's ridiculous.
Well said, Pillbox.
That was well said.
Well said also, knowledge. Well said also, yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, well said on both. I would also say if you want to go back to the when it's posted, of course, and go back and watch the beginning. Same thing. Went off on a rant. Like all the shit has to stop. You got something to say?
Yeah, say it to me. I've invited Richard onto panels many, many times to say, look, face me, get on camera, get on mic, and present your evidence. And I have also evidence that he's done exactly everything he accused me of doing. And all of this started, is my understanding from piecing it together, is that I wasn't quick enough to throw Hillbilly under the bus when the whole thing with Jeff Stewart blew up. I don't immediately abandon friends. I don't do that. I have to have a good reason, and I have to examine the evidence, and I have to give them chances because they're my friends, because I don't just turn on people like that and stab them in the back. And because of that, ever since that moment, Richard Clark has had it out for me, and then it just keeps going and going. He can't let it go. So that's all I'll say. I'm going to mute for a minute. I got to do something.
Okay. Okay. And there is trust me, there's no mind control going on and all the other kind of shit. Like I'm being brainwashed. Like, come on, really? You got to be kidding. Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, I've heard. Yeah, I've read. Yeah, I've seen an awful lot of stuff. And yeah, for some of the things that are being chatted and said, come on, really? We're not back in high school. It's time to put on the big boy pants, and you want to call somebody out. You want to call me out? Hey, listen, you want to call me out? Absolutely. I will actually very respectfully ask the panel to sit on the sideline and mute. And if you want to actually come in and have a one-on-one debate or something, totally fine with that. Totally fine with that. But however, what I will tell you, the way you're going about it from hiding behind the screen, most all hide behind the screen. That's the issue. It's not a problem. It's an issue with most today. Why hide behind the screen? Come on out. Look, I'll pop the cam on right now. If anybody wants to come in and have an open debate about something like that, I have no problem with that whatsoever. What I do have a problem with, and I have a big problem with, is spreading shit around about anyone. It doesn't. It's uncalled for. It is not only uncalled for. It means nothing to what everybody else has to offer. We all see differently. My friends all see differently than I do. I see differently than they do. It doesn't mean we can't all hang around together, and it's not a kumbaya thing. We're, maybe change the subject a little bit this evening about Flat Earth Sunday Funday. The thing is, we're all here. Like, hey, I'm right here. I'm right here. If anyone wants to actually come in and do that, I'm sure. I am absolutely positive we can get you a link to come on in and cam up. It's not going to be a situation where somebody comes in and all of a sudden they're like, oh, I got audio problems. I got this problem. I got that problem. I will tell you. I'll tell you right now, Richard. The reason that your wrench got taken away is because the way you behave against women. I take that very offensively. I have not seen the video, Richard. I have not. I will go back and watch. I have not seen it. The way you behave against attacking anyone, most importantly, a lady, a woman, a girl, that is unexcusable. And every time I'm going to stand up for that. And if you want to present evidence, I have no problem about that. No problem. No problem whatsoever. If I have a situation, I will try to seek out that person and talk to them directly, one-on-one. Be a man about it. If it's another man, of course, man up and talk to the woman. If there's any kind of issues or problems that I have, we're just having a very kind debate here. It's actually taken a little bit of a turn from Funday into something that really needs to be settled. Rich, Um, Richard, I don't know what to tell you. If you're unable to get on for whatever reason, audio problems, please watch. Well, yeah, of course Richard, of course I'm going to watch. I have seen some of the, not all, but I've seen some of the chat, and it is very condescending, very hateful. It is not becoming of you, and for you to do that is not very cool. If you have a problem with somebody, you want to handle it on the side. That's totally fine. Let me take a quick vote here of.
Hey, Larry.
Yeah.
They keep demanding that I watch Richard's hate video of me, and I think it would only be fair if everybody watches my screen captures of his statements that he's been making. Would that be all right?
Absolutely. Go ahead. I'm
All
going
right,
to mute.
can you present me?
Crap. How do we do that? Wait a minute. Mm-hmm.
All right, is it presenting? I don't know.
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. Here's one. Let's see. Down here toward the bottom, there's a cuss word, and it gets better. Trust me. There's a big F you to somebody, not even to me, but there's where he says it. So cussing is not something that we have to question. He just does it. There you go. Let's see. Here's another one. Let me blow this up a bit because that's kind of hard to see. Here he is in Dave's Hangout yesterday. I got a whole bunch from there where he slanders me. First he says that I have gotten Larry and Brian to hate him, which is an absolute lie, a bald-faced lie. We have down here where he accuses me of going to Hillbillies Hangout and within 10 minutes getting on the panel. That, too, is an absolute lie. It took me a long time to get on any panel. I didn't want to go on the panels. I kept being invited. So here we have, he says that it's up there again, and then he doesn't want to talk about it. Let's see. He says he's banned from all NASA channels. Why would that be? That has nothing to do with me. Here he says again, Larry, Paula, or Brian messaged A4. That is an absolute lie. I have never spoken to A4 in any way. And never messaged him in any way. He believes but can't prove it. That is called slander and gossip. When you believe something but can't prove it and you poison people against somebody they don't know, that's slander and gossip. Here again, he keeps making sure everybody knows who my real name is, which really is low blows. I don't hide who I am, but when you go around making sure everybody in the world knows who I am because apparently I'm scary or bad, that is slander. Here he's trying to turn Brian against me. He says I tried to turn Brian against him. Here he's trying to turn Brian against me, doing exactly what he says I do, trying to plant doubts in Brian's mind, saying that I wouldn't tell you if I was doing this and that. Let's see what else we got here. He says, it's laughable, Brian, she's doing so much behind your back and you cannot see it. There's nothing I've done behind Brian's back, and Richard can't come up with any basis for his charges. And let's see, let's go on here. He says, really, did you know she is, and keeps calling me and teach evil. I've never called Richard anything, and I don't teach evil. That's another judgment on his part. It's not true. Let's see, and then he says me and Vic were calling him evil or the devil or something. I forget what it was. Sometimes the thing rolls too fast. Let's see. I mean, only those she accepts are allowed, which is another lie. Let's see. We can go on. Paula is sneaky. I'm tired of it. Well, no proof again. This is another accusation. I mean, I can go on and on and on with it. So, he's accusing me of doing things to Brian. tried to turn him against me all day yesterday. So he's going on about the wretches. There he is naming me and doing it over and over and over again. So and then he says, I guess she doesn't want the world to know how she works. Well, I'd like to know what it is where this evidence that I'm doing something nefarious behind the scenes. The only thing I see is Richard doing something nefarious. Here he says I go to hangouts and beg for a wrench. That's not true either. Saying that I always beg for a wrench. Please give me a wrench so I can post a link. I always say. He emphasized that. He says I have zero honor, none whatsoever. I mean, I don't need to see his video to know, and I'll just spare you the rest of it. I think it's pretty obvious what Richard's been up to, and I'm tired of that. Okay? Once again, I don't hate the guy. I don't plan to watch any video he's done. I've seen the one he's done on Hillbilly, and it was juvenile and nasty. And so I think I've presented my case, and that's all I can do. And if people want to believe Richard, they're perfectly entitled to that. Or they can believe me. It's up to them. There's the evidence. So you can watch his videos and see whether you think it's true and whether he has evidence against me. So there you go. Got to mute again, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, these are two separate people, Larry. Hillbilly did make a very big error. He certainly did, and that is absolutely true. And I hate having to say it because I normally wouldn't. I normally don't want to have to talk about these things, but this shit keeps getting brought up, and this is ridiculous. But yes, the fact of the matter is that these people talking about that scenario, yes, you're probably right. He was completely wrong. And you know what? That has nothing to do with anybody except for the fact that Hillbilly did that. That's his problem that he has to do. And you know what? He absolutely owes Tracy an apology. Absolutely. Maybe even public. I would let them decide that. Absolutely true. And that, it could even go farther than that. He absolutely deserves, or he owes Tracy an apology. She deserves an apology, and maybe even Jeff too. But the fact of the matter is, great, we know that. That has nothing to do with Paula. It has nothing to do with Knowledge Scavenger. You can't look at this because somebody else didn't attack, somebody did something wrong. Listen, am I just as guilty because I didn't attack Hillbilly after he did that? Maybe I am. But that's not my fault that he did what he did. If I'm guilty of something, please let me know, but that is a personal matter, and he absolutely screwed up. Yes, we get that. That has nothing to do with anybody else. I do not control Hillbilly, neither does Knowledge Scavenger or Larry. This is a matter that happened, and now it's probably, I don't know, about a month ago now. And obviously things are not, looking too good. I mean, the atheists and the shills and the criminals have taken a hold of this flat earth recently, guys, for the last month or so. They've been, taking control of it. If you guys want them to continue to take control of all of this like this, and it's a complete disaster, that's fine. Then you're going to keep doing what you're doing and keep, bitching at people and creating infighting, because that's all you're going to do is you're just creating more problems. What somebody does is their business, and it's their mistake. Yes, he screwed up. Great, it's his problem. We got to move on. I got things to do. I don't have time to worry about other people's mess-ups and mistakes. Guess what? Jeff Stewart and Tracy, they have nothing to do with Hillbilly anymore. I guarantee they've moved on. I guarantee Tracy and Jeff Stewart do not talk to Hillbilly. And you know what? If they're ever going to, Hillbilly probably has to apologize to them first. I wouldn't expect Tracy to contact Hillbilly. Guess what? It's none of my business. Period. Mm-hmm. It's none of our business, guys. Move on. Romans 8:28. Figure out what it says. Why does it say that? Romans 8:28. It says that for a reason. Start believing the Bible, Christians. You are responsible for your actions, and you Christians are responsible for acting like Christians. So start reading the Bible and start going along with it.
You own what you do. You own it. And I for that part of a thing, when you throw something out there, you own what you say. Words do mean something, and we can go, and we don't want to go that direction with dictionary and all that kind of stuff. When you say something, you have to be responsible for what you have said and take it on yourself. At that point, It can be handled privately or publicly. Whatever the people want to do is their own business. Enough already. There are so many other things wrong. Everybody's infighting over different kind of things. Pillbox. I mean, I understand it. I do understand it. 'Cause sometimes I say, well, I don't understand. I don't understand. I definitely understand. There's been a couple things wrong. Just make it right and move on. They will never have to talk or be anywhere within whatever mileage again. Just go on your separate ways. That's fine. Everybody will understand that. Make the peace and do your own things and move on. That's what it's all about. The actual infighting. Oh boy, I hate that frickin' term with the P in front. It's not a P. It's something where you have to look into it for yourself and stop being led around by your ass. Wake up. Just wake up. Everybody woke up, and then they started going off on, oh, what's Johnny having for lunch? And he doesn't sit next to this person, and Muffy and Buffy and all this kind of shit. And why is that? And all the gossip started. Come on, really? There are so many other things that are very vitally important to everyone. If we, have a little disagreement, that's fine. Everybody figure it out, work it out. Have a private conversation, which I have done when something was called to my attention. I have had that private conversation. It was all fine. It was all fine and good, and moved on. And that's it. No reason to. And the definition of like the shill, the troll, the this, the that, and everything else. It's like, hey, you're a peckerhead. Well, you're a dickhead. You're an asshole. You can go on and on and on. Well, with all those kinds of things. Come on, they're all tags. Really? Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Larry. I just first of all, thanks for all that, and mainly I just want to say, okay, I got that out of my system, and I don't intend to address it or any other personal issue again. And you're absolutely right that if somebody has a problem with somebody else, instead of sneaking around all the hangouts and trying to get other people to doubt other people and not trust other people, like you said, they need to talk to them like an adult. Instead of letting this stuff fester and making assumptions and building on those assumptions, and that's what's tearing the Flat Earth community apart. And yes, there are people who owe apologies. I mean, I agree. I think Hillbilly owes Tracy an apology, and I think Richard owes me an apology for pretty much the same thing. But I'm not going to say any more about it. Whether they'll do any of that, anybody will apologize. I'm pretty sure nobody will. I could be wrong, and I hope I am. But I don't care anymore. What I care is I'm not going to talk about people anymore. I'm going to talk about ideas and try to do everything I can, as I have been, to try to, even behind the scenes, try to bring people together instead of tear them apart. And that's how a quality person is, what are they trying to do for any community? Are they trying to get people to cooperate, or are they trying to make factions? And the only way to do that is to grow up and own your own words and stop thinking of ourselves as the bouncers of the community, or protecting its orthodoxy, or however you want to say it. We have to grow up and get back to focus on our community and finding out what's good about people instead of what our little pet peeves are, and just grow up and get out of high school. Sorry, I have to mute again. It's just that time of evening. I'll be right back.
No, it's okay. No, it's okay. Very well said. Very, very well said. You got the bullies out there like, okay, come on, let's go, guys. We gotta get this. We gotta get that. We gotta get this and that. And everybody else, okay, follow me. Dude, you're heading the wrong way. No, we're not. Everybody follow me. Wow. How many movies can we recite? And I wish Mark Sargent were around, because Mark is actually the guru of movies. He's way better than I am with movies and stuff like that. He can recite things which I have to actually look up about different things about. Hey, everybody, come with me. Like, I'm the king, and here we go, and everything else, and they go the wrong way, and you got the split and everything else. How many movies does that encompass? So many. So many different movies. Come on. Everybody's, like piecing out and led astray and that sort of thing. And wow, an apology is an apology. It's an open thing. It's very sincere. It's something done. It can be done, in the open. It could be done on live. It could be done and recorded. It could be done on, so many different platforms. Possibly even a personal phone call is fine. It all works out. It all works out. Does that mean you're still not going to be pissed off? No, you're still going to be pissed off about whatever the situation was, because that person will believe that their side is correct. That's fine. The apology, why do I feel like such a dad? I have so many kids already.
I know. You're doing a good job, though, Larry. I will admit, you do your job well. But hey, Richard, what you should be doing is going to Hillbilly and using your energy. If you want to get it out, harass Hillbilly, tell him he was wrong and that pillbox sent you, and to remember Job 1 and how he was wrong about that too. Because you know what? When it comes to people being wrong, they have a hard time admitting it, and that's one thing that is true, and I've noticed it. And many flat earthers are the same. Listen, guys, I listened to Duranism for about 2 hours a day, which was, almost torture because I was trying to stay awake, but they are wrong. There are many flat earthers that are still wrong. Just because you found out the earth is flat doesn't mean all of a sudden you're a genius. Yes, you figured out probably the biggest scam in modern history. That is true. But that does not answer thousands of other questions or problems that you have, especially if you don't understand that you are a special creation. And I think Richard might have an idea. I think Richard is a Bible believer. Richard, if you got this energy, I understand the energy. I'm kind of the same way. You got to if you're going to direct it off. You can't hold it in. That's fine. I'm kind of the same way again. So if you're going to let it out on the problem. Pinpoint that on the issue at hand. Not that I'm telling you to do this, but if you are going to do it, go to the source of the problem with this energy, Richard. Okay? Because the fact of the matter is, we already have every problem in existence. The entire world is attacking us. They aren't attacking Islam or Buddhists or the concave earthers. They're attacking Christians and flat earthers. Again, there's a reason why, and we know that. So we have the entire world of Satan against us. This is going to be the biggest battle in history. This is going to be, I don't know, a 10-year-long battle, a 50-year-long battle, I don't know. But I know it is going to be a great battle because this is a massive deception, and we are waking up to the greatest truths that you could ever comprehend, which is that, obviously, God made us on a flat plane of existence, period, end of story. So we need to go after the enemy. Now, let your energy out on Hillbilly, get it over with, and you can even tell him I sent you, Richard. You can put my name in there, so if he wants to fight back, he won't just be going up against you, Richard. He can go and dish it out to me, and he can yell at me all he wants. That's great. But this Christian infighting is just a much bigger problem, and that's what I can't stand. You have every demon in the world coming after you, the worst criminals you could ever imagine. These people literally say things I can't even repeat right now. I can't even give you a light version of the things these perverted criminals say. These are the sickest people you could ever imagine. These are the people that want to justify murder all over the world for their freedoms here, which of course have nothing to do with other places around the world. And that's just putting it lightly. There are so many problems that we have to deal with. There are demonic forces. This is a spiritual battle. This is a war. You don't know it. Maybe you don't know it. You're in a war. They are going to try to kill you and your family. Is that not important? Your life is on the line. Your children's lives are on the line. That's why a couple months ago I pissed off a bunch of people because I said, if you're going to be telling other children what to believe, you better be putting your own children on your word. Because they don't. Because they want to go around telling everybody else's children what to believe, but they won't put their own children on it. Well, great. You just proved my point because people are cowards. Guess what? Your life is on the line. These aren't just words. These are souls. These are beings. These are lives on the line. This is a spiritual warfare. This isn't World War I or World War II. This is far greater than all the wars that have ever existed. It is far worse than you could ever imagine. We are coming to a great point of redirection in this existence. I don't have any of the details. I don't know a lot about it. All I know is that it's getting worse and worse. And by the way you guys do this, by the way you guys turn on each other, you're giving into the enemy. You're helping the demons, literally. You're helping the evil people that are trying to destroy us with this infighting. It's not helping anybody. And now, as of late, the entire Flat Earth community has been literally destroyed here. It's just turning into rubble, and every single hangout is controlled by atheists and scoffers and anti-Bible people. You know, liars, thieves, criminals, the worst people you could ever imagine. They're the ones now running the show. They're the ones running the hangouts. So you got to redirect your energy, guys. This is much bigger than me. This is much bigger than Pillbox. This isn't just about me. I will never be remembered as far as this war is concerned. This is millions and millions of people and billions. There are literally billions of people involved in this war. It is flat earth wide. It is absolutely everywhere. This is an absolute war. It is total war, and it is everywhere. And we don't even know it. We're killing each other. You've got to stop it. You've got to redirect your energy. You've got to do something different. Go outside, turn the hose on, and water your lawn. Take a break, please.
Well said, Pillbox, and especially is true of Christianity. The same thing is true of Flat Earth, and I keep talking about that video I did where I compare the two, because there are so many parallels. The infighting that's gone on in Christianity for 2,000 years is should be a cautionary tale for the Flat Earth community, because we're doing the same thing by turning on each other and getting upset about personal insults and assumptions, and judging and bashing people on the basis of nothing but suspicion and association. And if we keep doing that, then I don't want to hear anybody complain anymore in the Flat Earth community about Christianity and their denominations and infighting, because it's not any better. And if we don't learn as a community, I mean, this is our big chance to show the Christian community on how it should be done, and it's just falling apart in a very short time. I mean, it's only been a few years that this has been going on. We've been at it for 2,000, and we still managed to hang together as Christians in many respects, but the Flat Earth community is just flying apart at the seams, and it's because people don't go to other people personally when they have a problem, and they let these problems fester and grow and get all out of proportion until everybody's flying off in different directions. And this is exactly what the enemy wants, no matter what the truth is. It's another truth, and it's being sidetracked by these petty juvenile cliques that are forming over the stupidest things. Yeah, people are doing bad things, but that doesn't mean you fix it with other bad things, you know? So making hit piece videos, I don't care who makes them or why, or whether they're justified. And the point is, if you make hit videos, you're doing what the enemy wants, no matter who the enemy is.
Very well said by both. That's great. By Pillbox and Paul. Now with Scavenger, obviously. Very well said.
Thanks, Larry, for giving us a platform to say it.
Yeah, look. Let's keep going. Let's kick some ass tonight. Come on.
Listen, guy. Water off a duck's back. That's the thing. I mean, sometimes you gotta let the shit roll off your back and go wash your hands. Sometimes we just gotta wash our hands and move on. There's stuff to do. There are mouths to feed. There's kittens to pet. There are other things that you got to spend your time doing. We can't be worried about, as my father used to say, picking the fly shit out of the pepper shaker. We have to worry about, taking the corpses off the table, and maybe, turning the other cheek, because when it comes to verbal things, that's kind of, when it comes to this petty stuff, you're supposed to turn the other cheek. That's why God said that. He wasn't talking about somebody running a spear through your mom or kidnapping your child. He was talking about petty BS, and that's what this is. This is ridiculous. Listen, this battle, this big problem that happened, yeah, guess what? It happened, and it's none of my business. The only reason I have to stand up and say something about it is because you guys are making it affect everybody else, including me. So now you're making it my business. I don't want it to be my business. I have demons and criminals that I have to worry about, not petty issues with people that have not said the right thing. Yes, guess what? They screwed up. They're idiots. They're wrong. They lied. They blasphemed. Guess what? They're going to have to deal with God on that. They don't apologize. That's their ass. If they don't apologize for their actions, it's their problem. If they don't turn around and do the right thing, they're screwed. If they don't repent, it's their funeral. And it's not your job to fix every little single problem. Yes, you might be right. They might have done something very bad. Guess what? If you're not moving on, so are you. You're not doing the right thing. You are letting these insignificant issues distract you from the war. That's like turning around to my battle buddy because he blew my eardrums out because he shot the weapon too close to me. Great. You know what? Right now, that doesn't mean I'm supposed to turn around and take my weapon and impale him with my bayonet. What's that going to solve? No. Maybe I need to go back, to the medic and recuperate for a little while, then take that, private or that soldier that blew my eardrums out, and maybe I can slap him around in private. When you're on the front line of the battlefield, you don't turn around and start attacking your own enemies. And every single one of you in these chats and in these videos, you are on the battlefield. You've chosen to be here. You weren't forced to be here. So start acting respectable and start protecting your battle buddies, even if you don't agree. It doesn't matter. You're not going to agree with everything. My own father made mistakes. I had to take care of my dying father for years and years. And you know what? He was wrong about a lot of things. Am I going to stop loving my dad? Am I going to stop taking care of him? Am I going to just let him die faster? No, I had to keep doing the right thing. I had to keep protecting my father. I had to keep him alive. That was my job. Just because he was wrong didn't mean I was going to stop doing my job. My own father betrayed me, and he was the better of the two parents. And he betrayed me. He was much better than my mother. We can't even talk about my mother without offending everybody in the room and realizing that it's much worse than they realize. And that's how bad it is. Guess what? My father made those mistakes. I've made mistakes. It doesn't mean that I'm not trying to do the right thing. I certainly, if I make a mistake in a sense and if I lose my mind and I start calling a flat earther names or something, or a Christian, if I lose I'm going to apologize for it. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to try to pick up my pieces and put myself back together. But there's got to be a point where you guys can't just always do that. I mean, when I do that, let me know. When I do that, please let me know, because I'm going to slap myself in the face and I'm going to eat crow. I have no problem doing that. But right now, I'm not on trial. You guys have got to take each other's faces off of your target list. It's got to stop. You have so many enemies out there, and you're ignoring your enemies. You're letting these demons get away with murder, and you're attacking Christians or flat earthers that are on the same side as you. You got to stop it, guys. It's ridiculous. It's a psychosis. It's pride. It's the same problem everybody else has. We're so proud. There's no way. Oh, I'll never let someone talk to me. Hey, guess what? That's why it's called being the bigger man or being the bigger woman. Sometimes you got to let things slide. Guess what? Somebody's actions have nothing to do with the next person. It doesn't matter if they're married, let alone two different people that are not even in the same family. It doesn't matter if they're married. If Larry flips out on me and has a fit, I have no right to attack April and say, April, why did you let this happen? That is not her issue. That would be an issue between me and Larry. People, stop it. Please stop acting ridiculous. You're not helping anything. You're making it worse. And guess what? Right now, they're winning. They have taken the reins, which is fine. I expected that, and I have no problem because they need all the help they can get. And that's the only reason why I don't matter, period.
Yeah, and I think now that we've got this out and it's been said, I think what we need to do is show by example that we're not going to stay here and wallow in it. Just move on, talk about something else, talk about anything else but people. As long as we talk about ideas and positive things and what we can do to move this forward, I think we'll do a lot more good than trying to convince people of what should be obvious. So I got it. I'm way up past my bedtime already, but I think sometimes it's important. And I think now that, like I said, if we've had this out, and when I have, at least to my satisfaction, so I'm all I can say is that I'm not going to talk about any of that stuff anymore, any more personal clashes, and just, let's get back to flat Earth and Christianity and everything that really matters.
That was good. That was good. That was honest. It was from the heart, and it was out there.
And again, thanks Larry and April and everybody in Pillbox, and Stefan was here. Brian was here earlier.
Agave.
Agave. I consider you guys some of my best friends. Certainly best friends online. Jibby, he hasn't been around lately. Hope he's okay. Trustworthy people who try not to get into these things, but like we've said, like I think Pillbox said, sometimes they chase us down anyway, and sometimes you have to stop and shake it off. But I think now finally we have, and we can start walking again. And I'll just try to leave you guys with that. I need to get to bed. So thanks again, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Yep.
You
Paul,
too.
have a good night.
All right,
And,
thanks.
And I would invite, if somebody has a problem with anything said here, talk to me directly. Stop hating on Paula for her beliefs, or Pillbox with his, or with April's, or anyone else that joins my panel, Stefan, Agave, anybody else. You want somebody to go back and forth with? I would invite you. I will invite you. It could be a one-on-one live chat. If you want to go at it one-on-one, I'm right here. And all the other bullshit needs to really, really stop.
Right. Final statement, Larry. Is Richard in the chat still?
You know what, Pillbox? I don't know. I do not know.
All right. Well, if Richard hears this, I would like Richard to put me on his plate for a second. And Richard, you can use me. I want you to use me if you want, and you can go to Hillbilly and you can light Hillbilly up and say that Pillbox sent you. And if he has a problem with it, to come tell me. I'll deal with it, Richard. I'll deal with it. I'll deal with all the flack you want me to deal with. I'll deal with all these problems, and I'll try to set. If I can fix it, I'll try. I'll try the best I can, Richard. So put me on that. And you can use my name. Put me out there, and you can, if you want to, verbally attack somebody. Great, attack them and tell Hillbilly that Pillbox sent you, Richard, because this is continuing and it's not stopping. So I'm trying to basically grasp at whatever I can, which is myself. I can only trust myself. So you know what? Put me out there. I will deal with it if I can, Richard. I will try to do whatever you think I should do as far as this issue is concerned, because I know it obviously still bothers a lot of people. So you know what? Put my name out there. I will try to solve it as much as you'd like me to, Richard, but we can't talk about Paula anymore, because guess what? Paula has nothing to do with this, but you know what? Now I do. I have something to do with this. I'm putting my name out there. Use my name and get on Hillbilly's ass and tell him that I have a problem with him and that he needs to apologize to Tracy. Period. That's what I'm coming from. Now I'm going to get this way. I'm involved, and there it is, Richard. So if you hear this, you can take that as far as you want. You can even record me. But the fact of the matter is that he was wrong. And you are right about that, Richard. And that is all. That's as far as it goes. It has nothing to do with anybody else besides the person that did the offense and the people that were offended.
Mm-hmm. Well said. And now crickets.
And now, on the other light side of news, did you know, Larry, that the United States sheeple population is voting for two of the worst criminals in the history of the presidential candidacy? Did you know that?
Man, I don't like the politics. I really don't. I really don't. It's the vote is for one side. All votes go to one side. They all go to one side that has already been predetermined, and it's a magic show of shells. You know, the 3 cups with the ball, and guess where the ball is, and everything else, and there's a hole in the table, all that kind of shit. Come on. It's for anyone to fall for it after putting on the so-called glasses, as we like to coin many times. Put the glasses on. Come on, seriously? You know, all right, let's start with NASA. Obviously, they're full of shit. go on to different red flag things. They're full of shit. Excuse me. Did some people get hurt? Probably, because not everything goes well. Even on a movie set, some people do die in a movie set. Look at let's see, Brandon Lee, Bruce Lee's son, apparently killed, based on the news, by a blank gun shot too close to him in The Crow. And, sorry, Crow. Yeah, it happened. Whether it did or not, who knows? There might be some other land where everybody goes to. We have no idea. There are so many things wrong for the infighting to be the way it is. Really, really bad. Everybody has good ideas. Even some of the people that you or I or April or many in chat or something, maybe you don't like. It's okay. Like I've always said, get 10 people around the table and maybe 1 or 2 agree with you. The rest of them are going to be, searching or doing something. If you get all 10 people around that table to agree with you, I would worry. I would worry like big time. Which is why I named this letter Sunday Funday. It has been fun and still will be fun. We're going to keep going here for a while. With different things, boy, the situation, not to regurgitate it, has to be repaired on the side by them. Let that happen. Don't lead people astray. That is not the purpose of why we're here, why anyone's here. It's just bad. It's just bad. And Richard's still out there. Richard, if you want a link, I'm sure.
Did he hear me? Did he hear me, Larry? Did he say anything?
Well, it said, Larry, did you watch my video yet? I'm not sure what video he's talking about.
Well, Larry, ask him if he heard what I just said to him, because I just directed it about 3 minutes directly towards him. Did he hear what I had to say? Because I'm gonna squash this issue. So,
okay, all right, all right. Richard Clark calling you out by avatar name Richard Clark. Did you hear what Pillbox actually had said for about a 3-minute thing? Did you hear any of that? Nobody needs to watch your video. We're live. We're live right now. We're not going to stop live and go to your video, and everybody's going to run there.
Right, and nobody else is part of this equation. This has nothing to do with anybody else now except for me, Richard, and Hillbilly. This is no longer a knowledge scavenger's issue. This was never her issue. She is now removed from this problem. This is not her issue. It never was. This is now my problem. I have adopted this issue, and I can be used by you, Richard, to deal with this problem, because obviously it has not gone away, and it is just as much of a problem as it was a month ago. And I will help you, Richard, get rid of this problem if you want to use me to do so. This is not anybody else's issue now. I have adopted the problem. I understand the issue. I was kind of there. I did see most of what happened, and I understand. And what you're saying about Hillbilly is probably true for the most part, and I'm agreeing. And I'm telling you, you go ahead and tell Hillbilly that he needs to apologize, and you can tell him that that's my word. That's how I feel about it. That's it. It's that simple. So if he has a problem with it, he can deal with me. And if anybody wants to have a fight, you can fight me about it. If you have issues to deal with, great. Tell them to me. Tell me your problem. I'll fix them for you. I'll fix all your problems. Let me know what your issue is. Need an oil change? I'll help you out. Thanks.
Oil change.
Well, some people just don't have time to work on their cars anymore, Larry. But the fact of the matter, if there's a problem out there, let me know, because I'm tired of the infighting. I'll just take the hit. Just give me the hit, Richard. Obviously, this problem isn't going away anytime soon. Guess what? The entire flat Earth community is turning to shit. There's so much infighting, there's so much separation that the atheist and heathen, demonic forces are literally ruling the chat now, which is fine because I kind of knew that was going to happen anyway, and it's part of God's plan for the most part. I believe in it. It's not a problem for me, but I don't think that anybody else should be attacked over this issue anymore. If you want to attack somebody, attack me. I know what happened, and I'll try to help you. I'll try to help this issue. I don't care if it's just with Hillbilly or other people. Let me know what the problem is. You want me to talk to somebody? Great. Tell them I'm looking for him, Richard. Tell him that I want to talk to him, that I want to solve the problem. I want to get it out of the way. Because obviously the problem is still here, or we wouldn't continue to hear about it. What you got, Larry?
Richard, come on. Really? It's like Pillbox, you don't understand the problem. It was MG, not Pillbox, obviously.
Well, hold on. Hold on 1 second, Larry. Richard, you said that last time. And I did understand the issue last time too, as I proved. As you know, Jeff Stewart had Jeff Stewart didn't have a problem. He came on and he talked to us the other night when there was another problem. Remember that, Larry? When there was an issue, there were some mistakes made. Remember how I made that claim? Mistakes were made. Remember? And we all actually met up with Jeff. I remember Tracy was in the hangout, and Jeff and Chris came into. I don't know if it was your hangout, Larry, or Brian's, or whose was that? But Jeff and Chris came in, and we settled that problem, and it's exactly what I said was the problem. So you can't make the claim that I don't know what the problem is, when last time when you said that, I clearly did, and I fixed the issue then as best that I could. Maybe I didn't fix it, but I tried the best that I could to make sure that it wasn't going to get any farther, Richard. You have to trust me when it comes to these things, Richard. You might not think I understand, but I'm not as stupid as I look. You have to sometimes just give me the benefit of the doubt, Richard, you personally, because, Richard, you know I've never done anything wrong to Jeff Stewart or his wife. I have never batted an eye at them. I have never even questioned them for their things or their problems. I've never even questioned them, Richard. So you have to trust me. If you can't trust me, someone who hasn't even questioned Jeff Stewart or Tracy, which I support, then you can't trust anybody. You're just going to fight everybody you're ever going to meet. So put me in that place of the issue, and if you want to deal with it any further, great, put my name out there and use it against Hillbilly. But that's it. Anything else you do is going to be in vain. It's going to be worthless. There's no point to it. If you have such a big problem with him, great, deal with that problem, and we'll move on. But I can help you.
At the same time, I will chime in right here. I know Pillbox is on the roll, and I do not like to interrupt him when he's on the roll. Richard, you got to get on a panel, or you got to get on, or come on in. I'm sure somehow we can get a link. Get you on. Talk about it, whatever it is. Lay off of Paula. And I'm not just asking you, I'm telling you. Lay off. You're going after someone who is a very genuine person who believes in what she does and she's doing good things. What's wrong with you? I mean, what's wrong with you as a man to go after somebody like that? Really? That's where I'm going to question that. Really question that, and that's why your wrench was taken away.
Well, Larry, back to the fact that America is the most pathetic group of people that have ever existed. We are now in a state or country that votes for the worst criminals they can find. And that's the point of this. What I'm getting at is that you have an entire nation so deceived that half of them, at least, think that this is okay. Well, what that tells me is that America isn't just not helping the problems. America is the problem. Because any group of people that would support candidates like Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump, I mean, Donald Trump, I'm sure, is a complete scumbag criminal, no doubt. But, I mean, when you look at this other candidate, my God, I have to admit that I don't even know what level to put that type of person. I mean, you have literally a murdering criminal that literally, as a lawyer, protected the worst kind of criminals.
Mm-hmm.
the people that literally went after children. That's Hillary Clinton. We have a nation voting for these people, but we're attacking other Christians instead of attacking the fact that this nation is controlled by Satan. There are so many problems to deal with. We are literally at the lowest point in history right now. The last thing you should be doing is worried about the Christian next to you. That's the least of your worries. Until you start putting the effort out to the heathens and the demonic forces that are attacking us, you're not even starting. You haven't even begun.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
And I would say any religion. I mean, shouldn't it be free speech in any religion? Obviously, Christians have been under attack for many years, many thousands of years. Definitely got that. Everyone is like attacking each other, and if everybody just stood up for 1 second and said, "Wait, what? What am I? What? Why?" Ask the question why of yourself. Why? Why on the attack? Why is everybody attacking them? Anybody else? That's a part that baffles me on different things. Everybody's attacking somebody. It's like, oh well, hey, your mama wears combat boots, or all the old expressions, whatever it could be. It could be anything. Why in the frick is everybody attacking everybody else? It doesn't make sense to me. The reason why no one would know each other if no one turned on YouTube and watched a video and said, "What do you mean, flat Earth?" What do you mean? Okay, let's go ahead and watch, and kind of went in from there, and part 2, part 3, part 4, and meanwhile you're there several hours or days, perhaps, as some have tried to debunk and look into it, and the more you try to debunk, it's more of what it really is, and then you start to question yourself, and obviously many get pissed off at themselves. I've been pissed off myself for a while for not really looking into and came around, and then all of a sudden you got others, like infighting against other people. For what reason? Okay, so and I know Pillbox is a Bible guy. I don't agree with it. It doesn't mean that we can't still get along, and we can still debate on, okay, well, there's other things I found out, and go back and forth. It doesn't mean that anyone would be hateful either way. And all the other kind of things, all the other guidance things that are out there, and they're like, okay, well, we have to go a certain way, and we have to go this, and we have to go that. And that brings me back to, everybody in chat, and many people don't chat, and I understand that. You don't want to have your icon pop up or something. I totally get that. You don't want to be out there or join in. Name a movie where that didn't happen and went totally the wrong way. Hey, here we go. I got the sword in my hand. Let's go. Hi-ya! And run that way, and pretty soon nobody comes back. Boy, they're a bunch of dumb idiots. I just don't understand. That part of it, that so many people that have put the glasses on, so to speak, and been woken up will actually go back to that pseudoscience mentality crap and start going a different direction, or going a direction of being led. That's what got everyone here in the first place. There are so many things wrong, and I've said this many times, and I'll keep repeating it. Flat Earth is one of 40 plus things that are wrong. Many other things that are wrong. And when you actually start looking around, you can see it every single day. I would say to anyone, you know what, Pillbox, let's do this. Anyone in chat who has a TV on, any single channel, doesn't matter what you have, if you have any different cable or dish or anything else, put something on, and I would almost bet that in 5 minutes you can see something. Hey, that's not right, or hey, that's a 33, or that's a pyramid, or they're making a hand gesture, or they're doing something. I would almost bet that that's going to happen within 5 minutes of watching something. And everybody comes back and they're like, oh, no, I'm not brainwashed, programmed, or anything else. We can do a very simple thing, a very simple experiment. And I know there's a delay in chat, and we're going to take a 20-second break or 15-second break. Pillbox, don't chime in here. Just chill out for a second. April's right here. She came out to have a smoke. Here's something right now. Complete this sentence right now. We are farmers.
Okay, Larry, 20 seconds is up.
Okay, there we go. And actually, Chris answered that. And it's like, dot, 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 dot. Yeah, that you're programmed. We're all programmed.
Oh! Which Chris was that? Was that Chris Rock?
Yeah, he's out in the tube chat out there. And he got,
yeah, see, that's somebody I like. I like Chris Rock a lot. I mean, he knows things that I don't. He's helped me learn things. He's shown me things. He's a big asset. He has a seriously large purpose, and I look to people like him for answers. And I hope he can help us out. I'd like to know what he has to say.
I'm sorry, Pillbox. I didn't catch the last part of it. I apologize.
Well, I'd like to know what Chris has to say. I trust Chris. I think he's a good guy. I think he's got a great purpose. He's a very intelligent, highly educated person who knows many things. He knows things that I don't know. He's taught me many things, and that we need him. I need Chris. Period. I need him. I need his voice. I need him to tell me what I'm doing wrong. I need him to show me that I screwed up. That's the thing. I want criticism. Give me the criticism, because I want to make sure that I'm doing things right. And the fact of the matter is that many people that have woken up to some of these truths are wrong, and we need to be set straight. See what I'm saying?
Well, I can't see what you're saying, but I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Come on, just imagine it. Come on, just be like a ball earther, heliocentric idiot, and just imagine it. Come on.
Oh, come on. No, dude, I'm not going there. No, can't go there.
Use your imagination, just like the ballers. Come
on. Oh, boy. No, because you're going to get Charles in here, Flat Earth Math, and I'm going to have to go on for like 3 frickin' hours or something.
Well, Charles has got a phenomenal imagination. At least he can be cordial about it. I got to give the guy credit every time, because so many these other people are just literally demonically possessed, scumbags. At least Charles is a nice guy.
Yeah, I've actually talked to Charles quite a bit, several times, and for some reason he's like, "Don't give up, Larry. I'll get you." No, you won't. He seems by his comments and stuff, he's a good guy, family man. He believes what he does. It's on him. That's totally fine. I give him respect. I really do. He's hung in there with pretty much the best of them, with going at him back and forth. Do I want him teaching my kids? No.
Well, you might not want him teaching your kids, but I guarantee that the people that, are teaching your children in public schools, if you have your children in public schools, are probably no better, if not worse. You know what I mean? I mean, how could you be a believer in the things that Charles believes in and be any better? You can't actually. You know what? I hate to admit it, but Charles is the model of the perfect heliocentric believer, because at least he handles himself cordially in a sense of intelligence and integrity, which almost none of these other people do. I mean, you can talk to Negator for 30 seconds, and he'll probably tell you 29 lies in 30 seconds. You know, right off the sickest, perverted, most ridiculous things ever, like denying the straight lines. At least Charles moves away from that and says, "Oh, okay, I see what you're saying," and he moves on to the next subject. You know what I mean? Like, Charles is just a good guy as far as the way his approach is. We're dealing with a lot of other people that if everybody that was attacking us was like Charles, I'd actually have a much bigger problem, because that would actually not help me. The fact of the matter is that Charles is the exception in the sense that he should be respected, because the other people are not. The other people deserve no respect. There's an echo, Larry. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's a funny thing, because I could get Pillbox riled up in about 15 seconds, and if it were Pillbox and Charles, Pillbox would be beside himself. He would be like, and people that folks, we all know Pillbox. He will go ballistic, on a tangent or something like that. Charles will actually get him down to a situation where it'll be so monotone. It's like, you're no fun. Okay, I'm gonna go somewhere else.
No, you're right. That's the thing, is that, you know what, Charles? Go ahead and mute Larry real quick. I'm muting you. I'm muting you right now. Did it work? I don't know. I think it did. Okay. Yeah, that's the thing, is that, you know what? Sometimes I shouldn't go crazy, Larry. Sometimes I need to calm down. And when I'm talking to Charles, you know what? I don't get upset, because he is nice and he is cordial, and he doesn't just lie to me in a bold-faced manner every second that he has, unlike the other heliocentric, weirdos. He's a different breed. He's very rare. He's one out of a million. And the reason I say that is because I've talked to thousands of these people in the last year or so, and nobody acts like Charles, and that's why I give him credit. And I have to give credit where credit is due. I don't care if you're my enemy, and I hate to call you my enemy, Charles, but you are. You are preaching the lies of the greatest criminals that have ever existed. And the reason I give you a pass, Charles, is because you do it in a manner that's respectful, and I have to respect that because you're being respectful, and that's it. But the funny thing is, though, you're the only one, Charles. I haven't met anybody else out of the thousands of people that I've talked to. Charles is the only one who is respectful. Everybody else is a habitual, demonically possessed liar, and I can guarantee that. So there is a difference. That's where you talk, Larry. That's okay. What's the next subject?
Wait, was that me?
Well, I guess it's time to move on. So what's the next subject?
Oh, I'm not really sure. I I was reloading the page and got back to this. So, let's see. What have we covered so far?
Okay, how about that, Larry? When did you realize the moon landing was up?
The moon. Okay, I got bad audio here.
That's because you won't mute. When was the time that you realized the moon landing was the hoax?
You know what? That's a good question. I actually have the original, as I've shown on other videos, the original, souvenir catalog of 68 to 72, and looking at those photographs when I was younger, I had a suspicion. I never said anything. I went back to it recently, months ago, not years ago, months ago, several, and pulled it back out and started really looking at the captions underneath the pictures that were presented on different moon landings, and realized the moon has changed in distance about 30,000 miles. I really started to question that and started into that. And
Well, when was that, Larry? Was that before the flat Earth or after?
that was back. Well, I actually came about flat Earth a bizarre way into bank fraud. I'm not sure why. I'm glad somebody put it there. And I went over and started watching, as a little bit of a breather, and went that way. Started watching, and at that point, yeah, I said, okay, the moon thing. I'm like, no, come on, I got this. And I pulled out the photo album, which is a souvenir album that my mother handed down to me, and I started looking at the photographs, and they matched exactly what I was seeing on the screen. And I'm like, okay, I've got this one right here, and they're talking about it, and I'm like, shit, they might be correct. I didn't agree right away. I said they might be correct. I started looking and turning pages and started reading, and it started from there. I would say that was probably back last October, November of 2015.
Wow, so it pretty much happened all for once for you.
Well, yeah, but yes. However, I don't like the term, but however, I started doing the realization of all the shit going on back in 1990, 91. I started looking into things, and even in school, I was putting what you would call timeout now, put in the corner. Type of thing, not a physical corner. Don't get me wrong. I was like kind of labeled, like, okay, this guy's a problem, or this kid's a problem, because I always asked the questions. I would always say, well, yeah, but how do we know? Yes, but here we go, or however, here we go. I'm trying to not say but anymore. It was very interesting to me growing up. I would always question, and I would always get brushed off as if I was a kid that didn't know shit. Of course, many years later, I understand why. They're protecting their jobs and everything else. They have gone through, and I say they. I am talking about the teachers and the professors and the PhDs and everything else. They've gone through a lot of shit to get to where they are. I mean, a lot. And to have that taken away would be an admittance that they really are teaching the wrong thing. That's got to hurt. That's really got to hurt. And the fact that they still owe money and have loans and all these kinds of things or whatever, getting out of school. Well, I really feel for them. All you have to do is walk out your front door, do a few tests, and based on the math and when I say math, all of a sudden Charles is going to show up. I know this. When I say math, the math is based on the ball, and when you use the math based on the ball and it doesn't work whatsoever, it does work on a ball. Okay, that's not what we're on. It does not exist on what we are on currently. It would exist on a ball. It does not exist on a flat plane. It just does not. It's not there. Several channels, obviously, Pillbox. I know April has gone there too. Many others in chat and everything. Gone there and done the math and been there with a calculator, and somebody's out there like, okay, I got this, and they start to go around 360 degrees, and it doesn't work. It only works if capital IF it was a ball or is a ball, and it is not. Do the math. Do your own homework. Go out there and research. Iron's out there too. Hey, Iron. Oh, Dave's out there too. Hey, Dave. I didn't see him. Brian's out there. Oh, I didn't see that. Hey, guys. the math will set you free. The reason why, the absolute reason why, the math works if it's in that realm of what you think you are. It's not there. It is absolutely not there. Use that math and apply it to where you think you are and where you believe you are, and take shots on, off the ocean and the ships, disappearing and the flying boats and everything else. No, it's not. No, it's not true. It's not true, and that's common sense. That's it. When you know, you just know, and that's. And before we're chatting about the Bible and biblical sorts of things and different things like that, it's not blasphemy. We're just discussing it in an open forum. Pillbox has a different rendition of his beliefs than I do, but I'm not going to question his. He's not going to question mine. Does it mean we're not friends? No, of course not. We're still friends. We're still friends. There's different sides to everything, and everyone should question. What was the question? And Pillbox has left the building, or he's somewhere, I think. Oh, we get the moon out there. That's cool. The moon are two alien spaceships. I'm not sure what I'm seeing here. Hold on 1 second.
Well, yeah, Larry, do you see the two? You see the screen? Oh, you do see those objects, Larry?
Yeah, I just presented you. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, good. So we got the moon finally showing up with a light below it, which is just a light on a building. But the moon finally showed up at 9:50 Mountain Standard Time. I'm west of the Rockies, just north of Mexico. The reason I reference that is because I talked to Bubbles earlier, and about 2 hours ago it was right above Europe. So this makes perfect sense on the flat Earth, as usual. Just have to document this because that's why we're here, obviously, Larry, because we are living on a flat Earth, and we're trying to help people understand this. So there is the moon, precisely predicted by the flat Earth idea. Thank you.
That's it.
There it is. There's the moon, Larry. What you gonna do about it? I mean, we're not on a ball, so.
Well, you want to impress me? Show me where the flag is, or something. I mean, the landing site, something like that.
Yeah, you see that right there, that moon?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody ever went there.
No, yeah.
Nobody ever went there. Period. Oh, hey, Larry, sorry I muted you. I was just going to get rid of the echo. But yeah, there's the moon right there. Nobody ever went there. There's nothing on there that has anything to do with man's creation. Nobody's ever been there. Period. End of story.
Pillbox, that is incorrect. I went there last week, and I confirmed the moon is there.
Well, other than your imagination, Brian, it's never happened.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Hey, something about that moon you were talking about tonight. I went out there earlier, and same thing. It ain't there yet. Not there at all.
I know, it just showed up like literally 5 minutes ago. It's right there.
Did it just show up out of the blue? Literally?
No, east-southeast. It's been there for a couple minutes. I was letting Larry get done first, but there it is right there above east-southeast. And that makes perfect sense on a flat Earth.
Did it just come from the bottom, or did it just appear in the sky?
No, it came from the bottom. No, I was waiting for it. I knew I had a prediction of exactly where it would show up based on Bubbles' account that he gave me earlier, that it was right above him, and he was in Belgium, and now it is exactly where I thought it would be. Because I understand I'm on a flat Earth, so it's that easy.
It is flat.
Yep, flat as a pancake. When you order a pizza, do you guys ask for a flat pizza? No, you ask for a pizza. When I ask for the earth, I ask for the earth. I don't have to mention that it's flat, but it is. Just like I don't have to ask for a flat pizza because that's how they're made.
That's the truth. That is the truth. Sorry, I thought I dropped for a second. My internet wasn't doing so well. So how's everybody else doing in the chat tonight?
We're doing okay. I'm not sure if Larry knows that he's muted, though.
Well, maybe I should unmute him.
Well, if you could, you would.
No, yeah, I know. Oh, Dave, yep. Pizza.
Yeah, it's like when I go to the pizza parlor, I don't have to tell them to make it flat. That's the thing when it comes to the earth. It's like people complain, it doesn't matter that it's flat. I'm like, okay, then does it matter if you're lying about it? Does it matter if you're not addressing what it is? Does that matter? Does truth matter? If truth doesn't matter, then you don't matter. How about that? Because I bet you go to the store and when you, go to Savers and you buy $15 worth of clothes and you give the cashier a $20 bill, I bet you're worried about getting your $5 back in cash, aren't you? Because
right.
That truth matters. Of course, Brian and Larry and April, when you go to the store and you talk to any of these people, whether they're an atheist or a Christian, it really is important that they get their correct change back. But for some reason, when it comes to the shape of the earth, it's just not that important. It's only important if you get your correct change back. That's what matters to people in life.
Got to get that correct change.
Yeah, wait, no, I gave you a $20 bill. Where's my fault? Well, sir, you were just speaking to the pillbox and Brian earlier, and you said the truth didn't matter then, so I'm just going to keep the extra $5. Thanks.
Right.
Yeah, I bet they'd have a problem then, wouldn't they? Oh, I'd love to see it. Yeah, I bet they'd have a problem, you hypocrites. Bunch of slackjaw cowards out there. They want their money, but it doesn't matter. Oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, the shape of the... Oh, so truth doesn't matter. Okay, yep. I guess the Bible's correct. Yep.
Either way you look at it, it is.
It's just so stupid. It's just so crazy. It's like, you got to ask you, what do you mean the truth doesn't? What do you mean the shape of the earth doesn't matter? It matters when you go to the store or you go to McDonald's and you buy your Happy Meal for $7.94, and when you give them a $10 bill and you only get $2 back, you want your 6 cents in change. Your 6 pennies are important, but the shape of the earth isn't. Yeah, keep up the great work.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Just think about it. Think about what people think are important. They think their 5 or 6 cents in change matters, but they don't care about the shape of the earth. It doesn't matter if they're lying about that, though. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, I got that. I used to get that a lot. What does it matter? I'm like, well,
Okay, what happened?
You find out that it matters because, well, they've been stealing from us. Period. And you got to wake up sooner or later.
What does it matter? What does it matter? That's got to be the dumbest statement I've ever heard in my life. What does truth matter? Man, you got many more problems that I don't want to have anything to do with. You got so many problems in your life. If you're asking what truth matters, I cannot help you. You're going to have to move on.
I actually had something really good to say, and I was actually chatting, and for some reason I had no mic.
Nobody's going to believe that, Larry. Larry, are you worried about your change? When you go to the Goodwill and you find a nice jacket for $3.94 and you give the clerk a $5 bill and you only get $1 back and they're missing 6 cents, do you ask them, where's my 6 pennies?
I muted him.
Well, you might not. You might not, Larry. You might not ask about those 6 pennies, but I guarantee these heliocentric clown asses are asking for their 6 pennies back because that's important to them. But the shape of the earth isn't. But my 6 cents and change is. I need my change back, bro. I gave you $7. It was $6.94. Where's my 6 cents? I mean, it's just insanity what people think is important. And I got to tell them why these things are important. It's my job. Now it's Pillbox's job to explain to them why truth matters. Boy, that's going to be a great conversation. Now I have to tell you why reality is important. Oh, man. Talk about an accomplishment.
I think the cat took Larry's tongue because
What happened,
he's
Larry?
having trouble. He's having trouble. He can't unmute himself.
Yeah, Larry's like Gus Grissom in that capsule, burning to death.
Yeah.
Can't get out. Come on, Larry. Pull the hatch. Get out. We didn't weld it shut like we did to those astronauts in 1969. We didn't weld the capsule shut. You can get out of there. Come on.
There he is.
Okay, what the fuck is going on, man?
That was Brian. That was very Brian's fault. That was totally Brian's fault. Absolutely.
Yes, it was.
Come on, I heard the whole thing. It's all good.
I know. No, it's good.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. We have nobody watch. Actually, we have 4 watching. Oh shit! It's us.
Yeah, there's probably about 5 or 6 other hangouts out there with everybody thinks those are important. You know, listening to Satanists. So.
Mm-hmm. So let's wind up here. Wind it down. I'm gonna get some sleep. I know you guys are West Coast, East Coast. Wait a minute, hon, you there?
Daytime, nighttime, daytime, by time.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah, she's not gonna say when she's there. Yeah, it's like blue pill, red pill.
Yep, it's gonna go there. Yep.
There we go. What's the right choice? The choice is none. Even though you don't choose, the choice is free will. If you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice. That's it.
You guys getting tired?
Crickets. We got freaking crickets. Yeah, shut
Yawn.
it down. Shut it. Oh, I'm being told. Holy crap! I'm being told.
You're being told.
Well, it's 10:01 west of the Rockies, south of the 33rd parallel, Larry. It's time to end the show.
Yeah. Thank you, Pillbox Brian. Obviously, April.
Thank you.
Happy knowledge, Paula, which is knowledge, Stefan. Everyone that joined, everybody in chat, everybody, appreciate you all. We'll be back real soon. Not really. We just say that.
I might fire one out later. I'm not sure.
All right. No, that's good. Yeah. Everybody have a good night, good evening, good morning, PM, AM, daytime, nighttime. Waiting for it. Okay.
Read your Bible. Do what it says. Read your Bible. Do what it says.
All right. Peace all, and see you real soon.